Welcome. Hi. All of the animals have ditched me at the moment, but hello. How's it going, guys? Sorry I'm late. I had to push stream back a little bit because I had therapy and then I needed to get stuff ready to work on this on stream. So let me move the camera slightly. So this is what I'm gonna be working on during the stream. Let's see, still can't see it super well. Might have to move the pup cam to the other side. Move this over here for now. Yeah, so I'm gonna be working on this while we hang out here. I'm gonna try to get it so it's like a little bit more. The issue is I have a cup holder on this and it makes it so I can't really, it's like, it's being annoying. Whatever, this is good enough. Maybe if I do this. Yeah, I like need it to be turned. There. Now it's low enough. I can actually do stuff on it. Anyway, hi. So this is what we're gonna work on, but there's the babies. He's low fingering in front of the camera. He baby loaf. That's a good loaf. That's a good kitty loaf. Kitten. It's a good little kitten. You know you're leaving. Just his tail. His tail right in front of the camera. That's cute. Anyway, so we're gonna work on this. We're only gonna stream for like a little bit, probably until like 3:30. Not too long, cause I wanna do a few things in between streams. So that's the plan. Yeah. Also, my chair has like, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. There's green on it from last night. God damn it. Curses. Was hoping that wouldn't happen, but it did. So, yeah. I have to wash that now. Fun. So, yeah, let's see if I can find some good tea to listen to. I don't have anything planned for us to listen to, so I'm gonna just try and yeah, we're gonna see what I can find. Hello. So yeah, we're gonna hang out. It's gonna be fun. What are we in the mood to listen to? Hello. No new werewolf books. That is, unfortunately not as common as we want it to be. Oh my gee. I'm sure I'm gonna find something. I'm gonna find something. as a side note, have you guys seen all of the, like, I'm gonna, like, assume that you guys are smart enough to understand how this works, but, like, the amount of people that I've seen on, like, Twitter and stuff just not understanding how this works makes me concerned. So, have you guys seen, because of, like, the tariffs and stuff, there's, like, people from China on TikTok being like, since the tariffs, we're gonna sell all of these luxury items for wholesale. We're just gonna sell them directly to you and, like, white label them. Have you guys seen that stuff? Like, Hermes bags, or, like, Birkenstocks, things like this. If you know anything about either of those brands, you might know where I'm going with this. So, the thing about that, these brands are not made in China. Like, they are not outsourced to China. Like, at all. Like, at all, at all. Like, Birkenstocks, for example, are made in Germany. They have, like, videos showing their process. Like, it's like, yes, a lot of things are absolutely outsourced to China. iPhone parts. Keep the word parts in mind here. iPhone parts, for example, like, this is, like, really common. Like, a lot of, like, different parts of final products absolutely are outsourced to China. The thing is, though, they are not being put together there. Like, they're just buying parts from China. They're still, like, the final product is not being put together there. It's not like they're just, it's not a white labeling situation. iPhones are not white labeled. Hermes bags are not white labeled. Birkenstocks are not white labeled. These things are not white label products. Like, you're buying a knockoff. You're buying a knockoff. You can get the same thing for probably cheaper, just, like, downtown Times Square in an alleyway. Like, you're getting the same shit. If you're fine with getting a knockoff, then by all means, but you can, like, get the same thing off of, like, Shein for probably cheaper, and it's the same quality. Like, these are not the actual products. Like, I need you to know this. Like, I need you to be aware that that's not the actual product. That's not. Like, for sure, luxury items, absolutely overpriced. Not the point. They are not white labeled. They're not fucking a white label. Also, the thing that's killing me the most is, like, if this was just a, like, oh, we're gonna, like, make knockoffs and sell them via TikTok shop, that's whatever. I don't really care. That's, like, done constantly. But, like, these, like, TikTok shop is already so fucking scammy, and they're trying to lie to you about it being the real item, just without the branding. Like, it's not the real item. Also, the item they're selling you doesn't even exist in the first place. It's just fully a scam. They're not even gonna send you, like, the knockoff. They're literally just gonna steal your money and run. Like, they're not gonna even give you, like, the white label fucking dropship knockoff version of the product. Like, if you really want, like, if you really are looking for the white label version of the product, go find like an actual like person, a leather maker who makes fucking handbags in that style, and just go buy it from them. It's not gonna be fucking cheap, but it will be the same quality for a way more reasonable price. It won't be like a few $1,000s, it'll probably be like 100 or two, or like maybe not even that, depending on which country you're in. But like you're not, girl, like it'd be one thing if you were in China and you were like going to like leather makers or something who made like the knockoffs that were still like pretty much the same quality. But like, no, you're literally just, it's actually just a scam. Like, it's actually just a scam. It's not even like you're buying a knockoff. You're buying nothing. Holy shit. Oh, fucking hell. It pains me. A little amount that people know about, like, basic, like just the basics of purchasing stuff and, like, knowing how to judge quality of items is, like, the lack of knowledge in that department is mind-blowing to me. Like, it doesn't take all that much research. Like, holy fuck. But yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna assume you guys all knew that shit was a scam, but like, yeah, that shit is a scam, obviously. Are we okay? Like, oh my god, it'd be like if anyway. Fuck. Especially when people are like buying knockoff makeup, that shit stresses me out. Like, it's one thing if you're buying a knockoff purse, that's fine, but you're buying knockoff makeup, you're gonna die. You're gonna fucking die. Holy shit. Anyway. Finding something. Come on. Oh my god, there's fucking nothing on YouTube. Come on, YouTube. You got this. Give me some tea. I want some tea, please. Please give me tea. Oh, did you guys see that the guy who was being creepy to JoJo Siwa got kicked off? Thank fucking god. Trying to find something that's, like, long enough. Oh my god, 4chan's a psyop? No. What? No. Fork found in kitchen. You know, I've never actually seen 9.5 Weeks. everything is like 20 minutes. I want something that's at least like 45. Please, come on. Girl, give me... Please, give me... I want a deep dive. I just want a deep dive. Oh yeah, have you guys seen that people are suffering at Coachella? No, Lemon! That would have spoilers, I promise you. Because I've seen all those. And, there's spoilers. Yeah. It didn't age well? Ooh! Ooh, we got one. We got one. Chat. We have one. We got one. Drake and Josh finally explained their beef. It's an hour. Let's fucking... Girl. Girl. It's from Patrick CC, and his videos tend to be pretty good, so... Let's fucking go. Here, I'm gonna put it up on screen if I can here. Give me a sec. That way we can have it playing so you guys can see it while we're working. I'm gonna have it be a tiny little watch along. So yeah, it'll be a small video. That way it's yeah. Okay, I think we're just gonna duplicate this setup. Okay, and then we're gonna, once I get the fucking video pulled up, alright, here we go. Link, go like the video. Okay. Yay! Nice! What'd you think of it? Was it good? I have the second video of that series filmed. I just need to finish editing it. Which,
on the set of the
shh. Okay, now I'll get it pulled up here. Alright, let's see if this works. Hey, there we go. It's gonna be a tiny little thing in the corner here. Or over here, maybe? Where should it go? Should it go underneath Munchie? I feel like it should go underneath Munchie. There. I feel like that's good. That way we can have it kind of there. and then we can hear it through the actual computer finally. Woo! Aren't you proud of me? Aren't you happy? Okay, here we go. It's my favorite of my own videos. I don't know. I don't really watch them again once I do them. Just kind of do it and then I forget they exist. Make that bigger. Suck my dick. Go click on the fucking link if you want it bigger. Oh my god. Are you okay? Focus.
On the set
Jesus
of the
Christ.
iconic Nickelodeon sitcom,
Anyway,
Drake
how's
and
the volume?
Josh, the two
Let me know how
boys
volume
seemed to be
is.
best friends, but that wasn't exactly the case. One was going through some of the darkest atrocities imaginable, and the other
No,
was
tech skills
also
are never going on the
experiencing an
resume.
extremely complicated childhood, but they did not tell each other what was going on. And as a result, the two had one of the most catastrophic public falling outs in Nickelodeon history. For years, fans have wondered exactly what went wrong.
Yeah, I've always wondered what went
And
wrong.
recently, they came together and discussed
Little low?
everything
Alright.
in a 2-hour podcast that connected all of the missing pieces that we were left in the dark about for decades.
Oh, that's why.
Celebrity stories and feuds feel...
Because there's no source for this on this. Why is there no source? Ugh. Hold on. Here. Don't worry, it's about to be fixed. The speakers were not a source here. Okay, now let's try that. How is it? How is the volume now that the actual volume is existing? Tell me.
Relationship is very relatable. Sure, none of us can truly relate
How is
to
the
pressure of
volume?
being a child star while also dealing with the horrors behind the scenes. But the complications between Drake and Josh resemble a difficult relationship that you might have with a friend, uncle, cousin, or other family member. One that follows a cycle of love, hate, tension, animosity, remorse, guilt, and reconciliation. Drake and Josh's story is not some fleeting celebrity drama. So today we're going to
someone who
discuss the
has an
entire
actual
thing while
opinion,
addressing all
tell
of the
me.
nuances and complications of a real-life relationship. Drake and Josh's lifelong troubled relationship started from the very first time they met. Drake did not like Josh, and Josh was determined to win
Alright,
over
there we go.
the then 14-year-old boys met on set of The Amanda Show, which was a sketch comedy television program that was essentially the kid-friendly version of Saturday Night Live, starring Amanda Bynes.
So,
Belle was a part of the cast since its first episode.
For this,
in
I glued
1999,
on
while Peck didn't join as a regular until later
some of it,
seasons.
I came on the Amanda Show.
most of it,
We get along
without
first.
E3600, or E6000 actually is what I got.
Shared love of old school comedy and sitcoms and great television, and so
I have to
once you
re-glue
realize
a lot of
I was
this
kind of
because I
funny
glued it
and
with
I liked
shittier
people who
glue
liked
and they're
funny,
not
we
staying,
were
so
suddenly like inseparable.
Yeah. At first, Drake was almost
Really
second to
fun
Amanda,
for me.
and Josh came on as a tertiary character that they would sometimes make fun of. But once Drake and Josh had to collaborate on a sketch as two Italian mobsters, they realized their comedic chemistry was undeniable.
Tony Pajamas, what's your problem, Big Tails?
Yeah, what's your problem, Big Nail? I can't sleep. Want I should put her out?
Not yet.
Hey, Chloe? No, I just want to hear a bedtime story. She just wants to hear a bedtime story.
Hey, I got it.
He's got it.
And 25 years later, that chemistry is still there.
absolutely not hot glue for this. It would fall apart in 2 seconds. No, I have to use E6000 and a needle.
And he falls off and his kickstand goes right through his leg. Right through his leg.
Drake was an old soul as a kid and became a huge fan
This
of
is the
classic
part I
buddy
glued with
comedies such as Abbott and
E6000
Costello
already.
and Dean Martin.
And it's not going anywhere. This, on the other hand, keeps falling apart.
And he officially found his match. The two boys became good friends off screen as well. They would go bowling, hang out after hours, and even have
Literally a
sleepovers.
needle.
The Amanda Show became the highest rated live action program on Nickelodeon during its run, and while this may seem like an amazing way to start a child acting career, Drake was suffering unimaginable trauma as a file had infiltrated the Nickelodeon network. It's very
That's an
important to
understatement.
remember that the general public was not aware of the information that you're about to learn until 2024 when it was discussed in a documentary called Quiet on Set. This documentary drastically changed everything that people thought they knew about Drake Bell. Drake Bell formed a bond with dialogue coach Brian Peck during the second season of The Amanda Show. Peck, who has no relation to Drake's co-star
So
Josh
misleading
Peck, would invite
name-wise.
Drake to his house for acting lessons. These lessons were supervised by Drake's father, Joe.
When I
who was told
first
that Brian
heard
was
the
his
name
stage
Peck, I was like,
coach
oh,
who could
that's why
help
they had
Drake
the falling
secure
out.
more acting opportunities.
But
However,
no.
over time, Joe became uncomfortable with their relationship.
And unfortunately, I started to see Brian start to just hang around Drake too much. And it didn't set well with me. Drake would be in the dressing room or something, and in would pop Brian, and just touch Drake. You know, do things that, wait a second, what are you doing? Drake can put that on himself. And the thing is, this is in front of people.
Joe claims that while his son was in the dressing room, Brian would touch Drake in front of others in ways that made him question Brian's intentions. Joe expressed his concerns with the production personnel and said he was uncomfortable with Brian, only to be called homophobic because of Brian's sexual orientation.
I'm gonna have to.
Therefore,
I'm like,
Joe
oh god,
backed
how do
off.
I?
Once this got back to Brian, he manipulated Drake into severing ties with his father/manager, suggesting that Joe was sabotaging Drake's career. Peck subsequently integrated himself into multiple areas of Bell's life and became a father figure for the young actor. Eventually, Peck convinces Drake's mother to let him stay at his house during auditions. Then when Drake slept on Brian's couch, the sexual assault started.
This stream, I'm gonna be streaming on here until like 3:30, and then I'm gonna be swapping over to Twitch at 5.
Why do you think of the worst stuff that someone can do to somebody as to assault? And that'll answer your question.
Drake wouldn't tell anyone for several months. The abuse persisted until Drake began spending more time at a girlfriend's house. One day, when he was supposed to meet with Brian, Drake said he didn't want to hang out. Brian then started calling his phone nonstop. When Drake failed to answer, Brian obsessively started calling his girlfriend's house, which is when the girlfriend's mother suspected something was wrong and took Drake to her family
I
therapist.
just have to
He
literally
later
go
detailed the abuse
gem
to
by
his own
gem and
mother,
take them
who called
off
the
and
police.
reglue
I had to
them.
be excruciatingly detailed about every single thing and time that it had happened with two absolute strangers. The worst part was I had to make a phone call to Brian and get him to admit what he'd done. The police monitored a wired phone
Like,
call.
I get why they had him do
broke
that,
into
but
a
also, like,
full-on
why'd they have him
confession
do
led
that?
to his arrest. The investigation was conducted privately, and Bell remained unidentified to the public for several years due to his age at the time. Drake also refused to tell anyone what was going on, not even his best bro Josh, as if this situation couldn't
I
get any
mean,
more traumatic and
that's
confusing for
normal.
Drake. Before the trial, he also needed to return to Nickelodeon Studios to begin filming for his next major role on Drake and Josh.
That big break between Drake and Josh and Amanda's show is when I told my mom what was going on. We went to the police.
It's hard because I'm like, I don't know which ones are gonna fall off and which ones aren't.
All of that was going on, and then when we shot the pilot, we were in the middle of the investigation, but nobody had known anything because Brian hadn't been arrested. I had to come back. Like the Amanda show, where the
I need to add
guy,
more
where
though.
the dude was, where the abuse was happening, having the monster in your own in your safe place. Still, where I felt most comfortable, where I was the happiest, was when I was on set with you guys. And the worst part was every day I was out there, the monster was there, you know?
Even though Drake was forced to interact with his abuser daily,
Yeah.
he did everything
Double
in his power
stream.
to hide his
Mhm,
pain and focus on his work. But Josh suspected something was wrong as Drake seemed standoffish.
I was just looking at it through the prism of
No, that I lose them all.
Like, he doesn't want much to do with me, and
Josh essentially thought that Drake just stopped liking him, not knowing the horrors of Drake's abuse. At the same time, Drake also felt a little bit of tension from Josh, but was blaming himself.
Oh, I got all this stuff that nobody knows about that's going on. Oh, is this gonna hurt our show? Is this gonna, when this drops, is Josh gonna look at me and be like, bro, you took our dream away. Like, you took my dream, like, everything, like, are we gonna lose our
Just
show?
gonna peel them
Drake
off
said
and
he
set
started
them in the
losing his
pattern
hair
they
due
need
to
to
all the
go.
stress he was feeling. But then the investigation into Brian's crimes was coming to a close, and some of that pressure was starting to subside, knowing that justice would be served. Drake even decided to tell Dan Schneider about his abuser right before the trial.
And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. And
Okay, I'm gonna give him a little credit. He probably was disgusted by that.
I'm here for you.
Like, who wouldn't be?
Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I
Like,
saved
yeah,
my
he's
life
creepy
this
with
day.
feet and other
She
stuff,
came to
but
me
like,
one time,
and
and
with
she said,
Jeanette, but like, we don't have
I'm not
any
being
evidence
like
of
you
him
are.
doing anything
And
that bad.
would you help me with my speech to the judge? I said, of course.
Brian Peck was convicted of child molestation in 2004, pleading no contest to a charge of oral copulation with a minor under 16 and a charge of performing a lewd act with a 14 or 15-year-old. He spent only 16 months in prison and was mandated to register as a sex offender. Josh, again unaware of what was going on, one day realized that he stopped seeing Brian on set and with Drake, so he asked Drake what happened.
I had a feeling because Brian, who was ever present
Mm-hmm.
during the Amanda show, and then he was gone,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know anything except I had a feeling something happened. And I remember we're in the car, it was you, me, and Jill, and I said, you still talk to Brian? And you just looked at me like, no, Brian's a really bad guy. And I remember thinking, gotcha. And it was all that I needed to know. And I didn't know anything more than that, but I was like, that's clear.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Although Drake's pain was not magically gone once Brian was arrested, he was able to find joy again in acting now that his abuser was not on set. However, Josh was also suffering
Oh,
from
this
his
is
own
fucking tedious.
complicated struggles. Now, by
I'm working on a
comparison,
corset.
they seem menial to Drake's, but you have to consider that children feel like they are the center of their own universe, and they don't have that worldly
Oh, the
perspective
babies have all
to make sense of their
been ditched.
pain.
Well,
Josh
when she
Peck
hasn't
was
ditched
raised
me.
by a single
He's right
mother,
here.
actually never
Give me
even
no
meeting
Michi.
his father. He was the result of a short
Wait, here, I can actually put this on what I'm working on, so you guys can see it slightly better.
Sometimes living a comfortable middle-class life, and other times not knowing if they will be able to pay rent. To compound this struggle, he was using food
Might-
as an escape,
might be
leading
nice.
to him becoming very
Actually see what I'm doing
overweight.
here.
I didn't know that I was sort of eating in an unhealthy way. I just felt like I ate
High five.
fruit snacks like every other kid. I just
Feel like you can-
do it in an excessive way.
You can see what's going
So,
on now.
I think that pain was just born out of what we all feel is that it hurts to be different and it hurts to know that life is still going to be challenged.
Josh also used stand-up comedy and his television roles to escape his internal battles. Perhaps this is what made the two such a great duo. A silver lining to these young boys experiencing a traumatic childhood was that when they came together, they felt safe and comfortable. And because of that, they created one of the greatest live-action shows in Nickelodeon history. Drake Parker and Josh Nichols were two brothers bound by their parents' marriage, forced to live in the same house, go to the same school, hang out with the same friends.
I'm just doing
while having
sections at a
totally
time.
opposite personalities. Josh was the hefty, emotional dork, while Drake was a smooth-talking
Okay.
ladies' man who led a rock band.
Doing-
It was common that the Nickelodeon writers
Like
made
that.
Josh the butt of the joke. I mean, it's very easy to pick on the overweight, goofy kid. Drake, on the other hand, would often be this glamorized bad boy. He was lazy, rude, and self-centered. He would not stand up for his brother Josh. He would go hang out with girls and friends without him, and basically had a hard time accepting Josh as his brother.
Okay, here's my vision. I see your band in a desert. You know, the sun beats down, little creatures scampering spot. Perhaps I don't know, a lizard.
Oh, here's my vision. I don't care about your vision. The video should show off my band.
And although the show produced some hilarious moments when the brothers were pitted against each other,
You made that whole story up. No, you started that fight. You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther.
the best episodes were usually when they had to work together to get themselves out of ridiculous situations.
You gotta get me out of this.
No, the best episodes were with Megan, but whatever.
Okay, okay. He's thinking. He's snapping. I got an idea. He's got an idea. Okay, you need to stop.
During season 3, Josh started to grow taller and lost a noticeable amount of weight, so the show's writers could not just resort to cheap fat jokes, but they still often made him a punching bag.
Did you shake that thing off? Alright,
Yeah.
this mustache.
When Josh got hot,
I get more respect.
it got really hard for the writers.
Hey Josh, Helen wants you to go down to the basement and empty the rat traps.
You see, Helen never let me do that before.
Josh Nichols.
Okay. Whew.
Thanks. Have a good day. What's over?
Although Drake warmed up to Josh
Slowly but
eventually,
surely.
his character remained the inconsiderate troublemaker, and often the show reminded us how rude he actually was.
Do it a little bit from above.
While we know that this is merely just actors leaning into their characters for the sake of comedy, and now we love them both for playing these roles so well, you have to remember that the target audience for this show were children, and it appeared to them that Drake was the main character and Josh was the sidekick, which is essentially proven by the fact that
Who
Drake
the
won
fuck thought
10
that?
Kids' Choice Awards and Josh only won once. It was clear
That's
that
fucked up,
Drake
bro.
was the fan favorite, and Josh kind of understood because he also idolized Drake since they first met. But at the same time, Josh was 50% of the show. Some would argue that Josh's one-liners and physical humor is what actually
Yeah, he
made
was
the show
way
so
funnier.
successful.
Whoa, what's this?
Just getting ready for my big dinner. Drake, what are you doing here? You're in the room Saturday night.
I told you, that's my big fight with Lucy.
No, you never said that. Never said that. You never said you were going to be home Saturday. Well, I am. Ooh. Pause on my
In addition to this imbalance on screen, off screen, Josh was still going through tough times. Because of his weight, he felt like he was missing out on a normal teenage life, the life that Drake was seemingly living.
I just knew that I felt like because I was so insecure, I had missed out on a lot of my teenage years. It wasn't without lack of opportunity to go out and be a knucklehead and experience life.
Okay.
I just didn't want to do it because I didn't love the body that I was in. So I felt like if I didn't act now, I was going to lose some really important years.
Josh got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and he spent his summers.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I felt like Josh was equally a main character, like, I did not get that vibe at all.
127 pounds in 3 years. This physical transformation had a profound effect on the Drake and Josh show. His new body seemed to make him more confident in pursuing physical comedy on screen.
Right. None of this. Mindy just told me she loves me. What?
See? Case in point. The Mindy arc.
Tell me exactly how you responded when Mindy said, I love you. I didn't know what to say, so I just seeing chemistry and I said the door to
Seeing
And as a result,
chemistry.
season 4 of the show produced some of the most hilarious and
Bro.
memorable moments.
You're supposed to cut it out with the power saw. But I'm gonna. Oh, really? Yes. So go get the power saw. Yeah, I will.
That fucking episode was so funny.
I see the problem. Do ya?
The Drake and Josh series premiere was watched by 3.2 million viewers, the network's highest rated series premiere in nearly 10 years.
Damn.
Episodes regularly saw
Network
viewership
shows don't
upwards
get
of 5,
fucking
6,
shit
7
for
million.
views,
As of
do they?
2006, the show ranked consistently among the 10 most watched cable shows across all of television. It was a certified hit, creating core memories for kids all around the world.
It's crazy how
After
little
the
views
show,
they get,
people just
actually.
assumed these two remained great friends and rode off
Why
into
are you
the Hollywood sunset,
apologizing?
becoming successful actors. But that wasn't exactly the case. Drake continued his dominance at Nickelodeon as a top star. Josh, on the other hand, wanted to develop a career outside of the kids' network, while simultaneously entering the darkest part of his life. One might assume that his amazing physical transformation had nothing but a positive impact on his life, but Josh says otherwise. It became clear that once I lost the weight, that I was the same head in a new body. I had this illusion of becoming more confident and attractive when I was partaking. I was trying to quiet that voice that woke me up every morning and told me I wasn't enough. In an attempt to live the teenage experience to the fullest while he still had a couple years to do it, he went overboard, falling victim to a dangerous drug and alcohol addiction.
And suddenly,
Stop
I'm
sticking
like,
to my
now I'm
fingers.
looking like a normal kid and a normal teen. And I'm like, oh, they do drugs. And that's
No,
normal. And they go
don't do
out
that.
and they go to clubs.
Sir.
And they show up late to places.
Okay, was drugs the reason they've had a falling out? Because that would honestly make
And
sense.
I remember the first when I finally said yes. I had no conception that this drug would make me feel any different, that it was extreme.
Was it over Drake's
All I thought
shit?
was,
That would also
A,
make
I hope
sense.
she's watching.
What's the reason?
Oh, good.
While Josh was going through hard times, Drake was receiving very consistent work over the years doing voice acting roles in shorts, TV shows, and movies. His most notable role was Peter Parker in Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man animated series.
Alright, I have
When he
coffee.
wasn't doing voiceovers, he was writing and releasing his own music. Interestingly enough, his records weren't very popular in the United States, but were huge in various Spanish-speaking
We've gotten to
countries.
this
The Drake and Josh
part.
Nickelodeon show was
You can grab my coffee really fast.
likely due to the excellent job the production team did with dubbing the actor voices. Drake always wanted to be a rock star, ever since his earliest days in the Amanda Show in 2001. He released music consistently for 17 years, but received no gold or platinum records in America. However, in Mexico and other very Spanish-speaking
Right, coffee.
countries, Drake Bell, aka Drake Campana, had multiple high-charting Billboard singles and albums. In some of these countries, he
Like,
performed
where's the good
shows for
spot?
thousands
There,
of people.
there.
He learned to speak Spanish.
That's safe.
He has written and released a ton of music in Spanish. He even provides Spanish subtitles with every podcast or social media post he makes. People
I don't.
take to
I
social
never
media
actually
as
saw
he
that, so I
highlights
wouldn't know
Mexico's
how he
Billboard
was in
charts
that.
with his 2020 crimes, when in reality he was more successful there for over a decade and probably made most of his
PB&J,
income in Latin
yum.
speaking countries.
I can't have it, but I can have a similar version, and it's also good.
It's unbelievable, bro. You have no idea.
Tell me more Drake about it.
It's unbelievable. In Mexico, we were on Channel 5. We were like on After Friends or Seinfeld. You know, it's like we're on normal TV. Everyone watched us. We weren't a kids show. There's a place called Veeps. It's like a dance. The menu for the children's menu is us, bro. Like when you buy Doritos, you buy whatever, and you open them up, like the little like prizes inside is us.
Despite Josh's
Drake and
addiction
Josh.
and unreliability, he successfully broke the child star curse he was so desperate to escape from, and he did that with his role as Luke Shapiro in The Whackness. This coming-of-age dramedy set
The
in
Whackness?
1994 in New York City follows a teenage drug dealer who trades weed for therapy sessions with his eccentric psychiatrist. Infused with 90s hip-hop culture, the film explores themes
Weed?
of adolescence, depression, love, and self-discovery.
I've
The
never seen
Whackness
that.
premiered at the 2008 Sundance Film Festival, where it won the Audience Award for Dramatic Feature.
It's a good
Josh
cast.
had finally achieved success
Okay.
outside of the goofy fat guy trope he thrived in his whole career.
I saw him in,
He did not fill the empty void he was feeling in his life.
Red Dawn.
I had this realization, which was
I actually really liked the newer one personally. I like them both. I like both versions, but
and drugs and alcohol, and now like prestige,
put it on the list.
Nothing's gonna fill the void.
none of it. And I got sober 2 weeks later.
Luckily for Josh, he did not spiral deeper. He understood that he was trying to cure an internal problem with external solutions, and instead he chose the right path forward with therapy and sober living. He basically stayed busy every single year since then.
Kudos to
securing
him,
a major
bro.
Film, TV,
That's
or
not
voice
easy.
acting role. He even took to social media, becoming one of the most popular creators on the 6-second video app Vine.
Hey Josh, just hit 4 million followers. Hey, calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truth though.
Then again, neither Drake nor Josh's personal troubles made for viral
God damn it.
headlines. Sure, TMZ did their
Yes,
standard
that is Josh
coverage,
Peck.
and maybe diehard fans were concerned about the two, but generally speaking, the mainstream fandom were now in high school and college and focusing on their own lives rather than their childhood
I hate how
celebrity
fast this fucking glue
favorites.
dries.
Plus, Drake and Josh were frequently seen together over the years. Here's a photo that Josh posted to his Instagram in 2012 of them hanging out at a house party. Here's another photo of them in 2013 at a Christmas party. In 2014, there were multiple photos of them together. Josh even personally invited Drake to have a cameo in an episode of Grandfather in 2015, which was a show about a socially awkward yet lovable new dad who unexpectedly reconnects with his suave, restaurant-owning father, played by John Stamos.
You remind me of my stepbrother.
Oh, but is he awesome?
No, he's in jail for stalking Oprah. Anyway, let's get inside.
He's in jail for stalking Oprah, please. Don't do him like that, no.
Go away. Have a nice night.
Don't tell me what to do.
Jail for stalking Oprah.
So it seemed like on the surface that Drake and Josh were friends. They were hanging out all the time and even collaborating. But it turns out that these meetups were actually
But then they didn't go to.
extremely brief
Someone
and
didn't go to someone's wedding.
literally just
And that's
quick
where it
little
all went
catch-up
downhill.
because they happened to be at the same party. party. Drake actually wanted to be closer to Josh at this time, but was unable to express that to him.
Like when we were hanging out at Michael's a lot, and we were just, and like there was, I always felt like, wow, like, man, we're all hanging, I was saying, like, we should be closer, there's something, I'm like, oh, I'm not cool enough to like hang out with Josh, like, he's, you know, I'm not like, I'm not funny, I'm not, he thinks I'm this, and, oh, he, like,
Thank you! Thank you, Steve.
Bro, wanna go grab some pizza? Play some video games?
And the result of this friction between the two would get blown out of proportion, because in 2017, Drake posted 2 tweets about how he was not invited to Josh Peck's wedding, which sent the media into a frenzy.
That shit was
speculating that
crazy.
Drake and Josh
All hell
had
broke
some sort of
loose.
falling out. When you're not invited to the wedding, the message is clear. True colors have come out today. Message is loud and clear. Ties are officially cut. I'll miss you, brother. From there, Drake also did a few interviews where he discussed
Which was
his
honestly,
feelings
like, really
about
passive-aggressive,
Harassing,
I'm not gonna
but
lie.
he still expressed nothing
Why
but
would you
praise
tweet
for
that?
Josh.
Friend, you're talking to your friend and you're congratulating him on, oh, I'm so glad you're engaged, congratulating, blah, blah, blah. And then you see on social media that he had a wedding. And I go, what? I didn't hear about it, I didn't know about it. And so I shocked him and kind of, it's like, what? This is wrong. Like, why am I finding out about this on social media? I just feel like a bummed out.
I can see why he was upset, but at the same time, like, buddy.
But it had nothing, it does nothing to our relationship. I mean, we're relative friends. I mean, I've been one of my dearest friends for the past 18 years.
It's just sad because I just feel bad for Drake because he's clearly deeply traumatized as anyone would be. Thank you, Colin.
Which was at the VMAs in 2017, he asked Drake to apologize to his wife Paige for the tweets, and Drake happily did.
And I remember that I was at the Video Music Awards and I seen him there, and he seen me, and I go up to him.
But, like,
this would be the most Sopranos thing I've ever done. And I look at him and I go apologize to my wife right now. And he goes, okay. And he like made a beeline for my wife, and I see him do like this whole 5-minute performance of an apology, and it was like, I was like, go apologize to my wife for some of the best.
After Josh claims to have intimidated Drake, he ran up behind him and put
I feel like it's complicated because, like, they both suck in different ways. I feel like Josh should probably be there more for Drake, but at the same time, Drake has gone on to do some really terrible fucking things, so it's like... But those terrible things aren't necessarily directed at Josh. And Josh doesn't seem like those are the reasons why he's upset with him. Like...
Drake and his ex-wife Janice said that this moment was actually sincere. The couples exchanged numbers and went out to dinner multiple times afterwards, seemingly rekindling their friendship. They even did some content together as
Like,
Josh
I feel like
was pursuing YouTube very seriously.
if anyone can maybe put him on the right direction towards not grooming more children, that'd be great.
I don't know exactly why Drake was not invited to the wedding. On their most recent podcast, Josh
Hello,
revealed that
Samantha.
Drake wasn't singled out. It's just that nobody from the Drake and Josh cast was
I think the
invited.
Treehouse episode where they get stuck in there is my favorite episode. It's a pretty funny
Josh's
one.
wedding was Dan Schneider because his wife was friends with Josh's mom.
I love Miranda. There's so many people that I probably would now at 38 wanted there, but at 30, I just wanted to leave it all behind. Because it felt like it didn't serve me anymore. And the realization I had was when, you know, you wrote that stuff during my wedding about like our friendship and all these things and our love and our history. I think you were living in the world where our relationship should have been.
Right.
I was too much living in the past of when our relationship wasn't great. And it was really somewhere in the middle.
At the time, Josh felt that he and Drake grew apart. but it was
Yeah,
revealed that
I
Josh
feel
wanted
like
to leave
Josh is
everything
doing a lot
related
of
to
blaming
Nickelodeon
Drake
past,
for stuff
including
when,
his
like,
close
it
friendship with Drake. This
isn't.
stung extra hard for Drake because he actually wanted to be closer to Josh, but because neither of them actually communicated how they felt on the inside,
'Cause,
it
like,
resulted in this huge
if
wedding
Josh's
blow.
reason was,
It's also important
hey,
to
he,
realize that
like,
this conversation
tried to
that they
groom
had
someone,
on this podcast in 2025
like, you know
never
what?
was
That's a valid
communicated
reason, but
before.
that's not his
So
reason!
Josh publicly making up in 2017
So, like, what the
and
hell?
making this content together, they never really addressed the problem.
Okay.
And then something weird started
Add more glue to into my little
And as
pile
Drake
here.
continued to do press for different projects, he still seemed bothered by the wedding drama. He seems awfully sarcastic and throwing shade towards Josh in interviews.
I'm sensing some shade.
No shit at all. I like it. We're just super. The thing is, we're just so busy. Like, you know, I'm constantly on tour. He's constantly at David Dobrik's house, and you know, there's like not a lot of time.
Did he ever tell you why he didn't like?
He's constantly at David Dobrik's house.
Stop. Is that what it would have been?
And the extra chicken would have been really expensive. Like another
Like the way
This
that
video had 6 million views, and all the comments were all taking Drake's side. Remember when Drake was the cocky one and Josh was the sweet and calm one in the show? But now it's
the way
opposite.
that
It seems
Josh
that
acts
sees him as
is
just a coworker and Drake's
so
someone as a
unlikable.
friend. That's awkward. But then, a few
But
months
then
later,
Drake
they
does
more
things that are so
content
unlikable,
together,
and it's just
and
like-
everything seems totally normal and fine. And by the way, all of these videos have now been deleted from Josh's YouTube channel. And if you're having a hard time following this timeline and it seems very flip-floppy, one minute they're friends, the next they're not, and you can't really get a grip on it, well,
That's 'cause
you're
that's
not
how it
alone.
was.
It was these mixed signals that made for a lot of confusion.
Whatever the public's perception is of our relationship is or isn't, or like what we should be doing to them, all I ever want to say to them is like, whatever you think you know of us is only half as deep as it really is.
Nobody could really tell if they were friends or just trying to remain relevant by milking the drama, or if they secretly were still mad at each other. But then behind the scenes, it got even more confusing when Josh pitched Drake an idea for a reboot of their classic Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, it
but
was
the
so
plot was
weird.
seemingly set up to make
Hello.
Drake look bad. In 2019, Josh sent over the script to Drake. The idea was that Drake was going to be a failed musician, and Josh was going to be a successful real estate agent. They
Yeah,
were
that
basically
shit was
parodying
so-
Drake's real life as a musician in Mexico, while Josh's character was entirely
Yikes.
fictional. The opening line of the first scene was supposed to be one of Josh's clients recognizing him from Nickelodeon and saying their classic "hug me brother" catchphrase, only for Josh to deny it and say, "hug yourself, kid."
And then he goes, "Hug me, brother." And then Josh gets in the car and goes.
Hug yourself, fuckhead. And that
So
alone.
that was the first thing that I was like, we can't open our car.
It's just weird to me how like much disdain Josh has for Drake and Josh when like
Then it transitions to Drake in Mexico performing at a quinceañera for the daughter.
Drake
of a
was the
drug
one getting
cartel
abused
leader,
on
where
that
they're all
set.
drinking and doing
And he
hard
doesn't
drugs.
think
Drake
that
is also
negatively about the
performing with a
show.
mariachi band.
It's a little
During
weird.
the performance, the cartel members get loaded, and a massive gunfight breaks out, and they end up not wanting to pay
Like, he can
Drake
feel
for
whatever
his
way he
service,
wants about
which
it, but it's just a
ultimately leads to
little-
him being broke and stuck in Mexico.
It's a little
Josh
weird
has Drake stuck in
how
Mexico,
much
has
disdain he
money,
seems to have
I
for the
need
show
money,
when
or
he's
I need
constantly
really
quoting
great
it.
money, and only has like 3 people show up to the mall for the meet and greet so that Drake could get money back to the United States.
I'm not sure how real this is, but it sounds like some sort of Josh revenge fantasy for playing the goofy fat kid all those years.
Yeah,
think
which, like,
people
I don't
realize
even,
that Drake worked
like-
hard to build up a Hispanic fan base, making a reboot.
It's also
full of
like
stereotypes,
kind of weird because like I
meaningful
never
about
saw
this
when I was a
audience
kid I
would
never saw
cause
Josh
Drake
to be
piss
like
off
the
any
goofy
longtime
fat kid
fans.
stereotype. Like
Whether
he
or not this
wasn't.
script was
He
real
he was
was
just like a
never confirmed,
realistic
but it did
stepbrother.
seem possible
Like
considering what unfolded next.
maybe I was
Drake
too
about to
young
face some
to
major
understand
legal
that
troubles for
at the
allegedly
time, but
sexually
like
pursuing
I
underage
never got that
girls,
vibe.
and Josh
He just
responded
always
with
seemed
full
like the more
press tour
reasonable of the
trying to
two.
convince the world that he and Drake hadn't talked in 10 years and were never
Like he was the normal one, and then
that happened roughly
Drake
around
was
the
like
time
the
Drake was outed by his
like
abuser for
asshole
allegedly
like
sexually
popular
pursuing
brother.
underage girls.
That was the
In
vibe.
August 2020, Drake's former girlfriend, Melissa Lingafelt, who goes by the stage name Jimmy Ono on social media, posted a TikTok that jeopardized Belle's clean reputation. Melissa claimed that Drake committed both verbal and physical abuse during their relationship from August 2006 to February 2009.
When I started dating Drake, I was 16. I was homeschooled. I moved in with him. I was singing.
See, like,
It wasn't
nah.
until about a year.
if this was Josh's reasoning for not liking Drake, I feel like
Imagine
everyone could
the
get behind that.
worst type of verbal abuse you could ever imagine.
But it doesn't
and
seem
that
like
was
it.
What I got. It then turned into physical.
He's just mad at him for the
So,
show that
everything.
Drake had no fucking
pinnacle
control
of it,
over.
He drug me down the stairs of our house.
Like, it
in
seems
this
so
place. My face hit every
weird.
step on the way down. I have photos of this. I don't even want to get into the underage girls.
There is a Wizards reboot, yeah.
I mean, I will, but I'm scared.
As if the allegations of physical abuse weren't shocking enough, Melissa hinting that he was somehow involved with underage girls set the internet on fire. Drake vehemently denied ever abusing Melissa. As our relationship ended more than a decade ago, we unfortunately both called each other terrible names, as often happens when couples are breaking up. But that is it. Clearly, Melissa
I'm
still
getting
felt
so close
enough
to
me
being done
just
with
last
this.
year that she was comfortable reaching out to ask me to provide her with financial support during a tough time, which I did. The public opinion on the situation was split. While many people reacted with empathy and support towards Melissa, recognizing the seriousness of domestic abuse, others were skeptical and expressed doubt about her claims, especially since Melissa failed to provide any concrete evidence against Drake. Plus, Drake made it seem like she was doing this expose for money, casting doubt on her intentions. It was purely a he said, she said situation, and Drake wouldn't face any legal consequences. Melissa, after spending weeks talking about the situation online, deleted all her videos and detached herself from the situation. But it only took a few months for more serious allegations to come to light and Drake's reputation to be permanently destroyed. On June 4th, 2021, Bell was arrested in Cleveland, Ohio on charges relating to attempted endangering of children and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. For context, child endangerment occurs whenever a parent, guardian, or other adult caregiver
I want to make it so you guys have a better angle of what I'm doing here.
Dangerous, unhealthy, or inappropriate situation. Disseminating matter harmful to juveniles means that a person has unlawfully ordered, offered, sold, displayed, or given pornographic or obscene materials such as books, videos, messages, photos, etc. to someone under the age of 18. To simplify, he was being charged with sexting a minor. However, the nature of the charges say that there was no sexual contact. According to the court documents, the date of the offense was December 1st.
Whatever it was, he was being
Bell
creepy.
was going to Cleveland,
That's a
Ohio's
no.
the Odeon to perform a concert. Bell then seemingly invited the minor to his show in Cleveland. In the months leading up to the concert, Drake sent the victim inappropriate social media messages. The minor, who lived in Canada, attended Bell's concert in Cleveland. She and Bell met later that night at the Cleveland nightclub on Old River Road in the city's east bank of the Flats district. In October 2018, 10 months after the incident, the 15-year-old victim filed a report with her local police department in Canada regarding what had happened that night. This is all the information that was revealed in the case. So naturally, people were confused as this was all extremely vague. Even news outlets were unable to discern what actually happened.
Disseminating matter harmful to children. We don't have information on exactly what that is, but you can imagine a relationship between a 15-year-old girl and a 34-year-old man will be left to draw
Disgusting.
their own conclusion.
Then his ex, Melissa, who accused him of abuse on TikTok 1 year prior, did an exclusive interview with the Daily Beast where she claimed that she observed Bell's inappropriate behavior with minors firsthand. What he's being arrested for right now is a prime example of what I would witness. Him having inappropriate conversations online with underage girls. Melissa said, I saw really questionable, crazy stuff on his computer. The stuff he'd be
Okay,
looking
but
at
like,
was
why did you
effing
not call the
insane.
fucking cops,
These
girl?
statements combined with the extremely vague
Really
court
sus
case
of you
details
to
fuel
not
the
like
narrative that
immediately
Drake
call
was
the
a
cops
pedophile.
when you find
Now,
that
it's important to
stuff.
consider that as soon as the victim reported
Because
Drake
I
in
would be
October
on the
2018,
phone
Canadian authorities
dialing
and
the
Cleveland
cops
authorities
the
promptly
second
started an
that shit
investigation.
graced
This
my
investigation
eyeballs. What do
lasted
you mean?
18 months, gathering all the evidence, photos, screenshots, and
Like, the
multiple
cops would be there
statements from the
discovering
victim
it
to
with
build
me
a
at
case
that
against
point.
Bell. They even gained access to
Like,
Drake's
girl, I
Instagram,
got some
Snapchat,
shit. Come
laptop,
here.
everything
Send
they could.
5
We don't
officers. Thank
technically
you.
know what they found, but whatever it was enough to cause Drake to enter a plea deal instead of going to trial. And on June 23rd, 2021, he pled guilty to attempted child endangerment. So remember, all the details regarding his case were extremely vague, and then on top of that, he pleads guilty. So now the general public is extra convinced he is a PDF file, but somehow it got even worse. Drake's sentencing was conducted over Zoom and then posted on YouTube. During the sentencing, the victim made an impact statement, which is essentially their opportunity to talk directly to the defendant and the judge to express their thoughts and emotions about
that
the
was on.
crime. This was the very
Thought
first
COVID was
time
crazy.
anyone had heard the details of the alleged crimes that took place. But during the impact statement, the victim brought up countless new allegations and statements that were never presented during the investigation, which shocked Drake, the defense, and even the judge. Remember, Drake was already pleading guilty to basically sexting, but since he was pleading guilty, the public assumed that everything the victim was saying here was part of the case, but it was not.
Oh, interesting.
I started off
as a fan of him. Everyone who knew me
I
as
feel
a
like
child
sexting is
knew
still
that
bad
he was
enough,
a hero
but
to me. I would have done anything for him. When I was 11, I learned that my aunt had a mutual friend who knew the defendant. That led to my aunt taking me to meet him for the first time in 2014 when I was 12. From the time I was 12 to 15, my aunt took me to meet him and spend time with him many times. After I met him for the first time, he started speaking to me more frequently online. When I was 13, I went to him for boy advice. He told me that I was beautiful and that boys were stupid. He then sent me a photo
every
of myself
fucking
with a
Drake
screen
pulling
cap
that
on my
shit.
Instagram telling me that I was, quote,
Other
such a
Drake with
cutie.
Millie,
He saved
this
that
Drake
photo
with
of me
her.
onto his phone.
Girl.
Another instance of creepy behavior happened when I was spending time with him at the age of 14. He told me that he couldn't believe how much I'd grown since he last saw me. He said that I wasn't little anymore.
Are my hands
and
bigger?
I was, quote, a woman now. But
No?
at 15,
Are you
he
good?
sent me messages about how,
What?
quote, hot I was. In the summer of 2017, I messaged him, telling him
He's
that
like,
I was
listen,
trying
it
to
was
see
summer. I was just
him
asking your body
He
temperature.
replied by telling me that he
That's
couldn't
the
wait to see
defense.
me. He also asked me, quote, how old are you now? I told him 15. He then told me to, quote, hurry up. Not too long after that, his messages to me became blatantly sexual. Aside from Cleveland, the only other
this is the
time
reason
that the
to not like
defendant
him.
sexually assaulted me was in October.
Not whatever the fuck
2017.
Josh is
It
mad
happened
about.
in Illinois in the middle of the night. He digitally penetrated me in the back seat of my aunt's car while she was driving him to a friend's house.
But
This
also, how is she
eventually
allowed
led
to make
many
new
months
accusations when they are
inappropriate
not
messages and photos being exchanged over Instagram
on
and
the books?
Snapchat. The photos exchanged included photos of my body and photos of his body and his genitals. He would tell me how badly he wanted to penetrate me vaginally. On December 1st, 2017, my aunt took
Shit,
me to
where
the
was
Putin
that?
concert club to watch him perform. That night, the defendant took me backstage to be alone with him. He started
Oh my
kissing me,
God.
and the night ended in him having me perform oral sex on him twice.
Think
The
that
next
goes there?
incident happened on
Shit.
December 2nd, 2017. While I was alone with him in his hotel room, he had talked to me about seeing me one last time before we all left Cleveland and went home. So we went to his hotel to say goodbye. In his hotel
yeah.
room, he started kissing me and had me perform oral sex on him again. My aunt was right outside the room waiting in the hallway. while
Always
this
a
was
Drake.
happening. She trusted him and never thought that he would ever do anything to hurt me.
I don't think they were trying to make us
Messages
like him
continued
with the
for a while
documentary.
after that,
I don't
until I eventually
think that's what that
put a stop
was.
to them.
People
He
can
ignored me
absolutely
for
be
many
victims and then also go on to be
Eventually, he tried
perpetrators, but that doesn't
apologizing to
detract
me
from them
for,
having
quote,
been a victim.
breaking my heart, but deleted those messages quickly afterward. He preyed on me and sexually abused me. He is a monster.
Like,
and a danger
abusers who go on to create
Jared
more
Drake
abusers
is a pedophile, and that
are
is his legacy.
just
People picked apart
creating
Drake's body
the
language and
cycle,
pointed out that
so,
he was laughing, smirking, and
like, we
shocked.
still do
But
need
nobody
to go
mentioned that
blame
a lot
the
of what the
original
victim was saying
abuser.
were new allegations that nobody in the court ever heard before. Specifically, the allegations that he forced the girl to give him oral and the allegation that he sent nude photos. The defense and the court both confirmed with evidence that no such sexual advances were made. Otherwise, the charges would have been more severe.
Then how is she allowed to say that?
Misconduct or engaging in personal relations. He pled to endangering, attempted endangering children and disseminating matter harmful to students. These are serious allegations, but they do not involve sexual relations.
This is what Drake's defense admits to.
So the acceptance of the responsibility, Your Honor, is for chats
Seems
that
weird, why would
between
you?
he and the victim. The subject matter of those chats were discussed because they've known each other for years, and there were claims that became sexual in nature when asked.
Why would you
however,
jeopardize your case like that?
at your age, excuse me, at that point he said, can you hurry up, which shows a complete intent not to engage with a minor. So, however, those chats, harmful as they were, clearly harmed this person at that time. Those were, yes. Thank you. They certainly, however, Your Honor, did not mimic any of the factual scenarios that the victims brought up here today. And again, I have to emphasize.
Why was her lawyer? Why did her lawyer not read her victim impact statement first? Like, I feel like someone maybe should have read that and be like, "Hey, girly, so
Basically, Drake admits
this
that
might have
he was
happened,
in the
but
minor for
that's not what
years,
we're in
even though
court
he
for
says
right
he
now."
didn't know her age. Those conversations eventually turned sexual. Then when he asked for her age, she told him 15 and he said, "Hurry up," then stopped all communication. When Drake stopped conversing with her, they claimed that flipped the young girl's world upside down and she started going after Drake's wife and threatening to expose him. They basically paint her as a crazy, obsessed, and jealous fan, which we don't really know if that's true or not. We can't say the victim is lying, and
Yeah,
we
it
don't
seems
know
a
what
little
evidence was found during the investigation because almost none of it was
convenient
revealed to the
for
public.
them.
But we do know she was bringing up new allegations in her impact statement that she did not formally bring up during the 18-month investigation. Therefore, they cannot be legally considered during sentencing. It's for you to decide if she was just an obsessed fan that was jealous and trying to ruin his reputation, or if she is actually a victim of a corrupt legal system. Bell was sentenced to 2 years
I think the truth is
probation,
probably somewhere in the
200
middle.
hours of community service in California, and cannot have any contact with the victim. He was not required to register as a sex offender. At the time, the public looked at Drake as a pedophile who got off with a slap on the wrist. Shortly after this trial, Josh Peck went on various podcasts claiming that he and Drake barely spoke and were never friends, and that's
Which
why
is
he
some
wasn't invited
bullshit.
to the wedding.
Are you guys like not friends?
Not really, no.
Like,
The dirty
girl,
version, I guess,
be
was like,
for
I knew
real.
Drake and I didn't stay in touch for the 10 years since we had made the show, but no one needed to know that. And it's delusional, because I'm like, bro, it's like we worked at Coffee Bean when we were 16. Like, I'm sorry,
it's
I'm
not.
31 now, I might have lost your number. I was happy to just die with that secret that, like,
Josh is
we made this thing that people really love, but maybe we weren't that
very
close.
opportunistic.
So I didn't invite him to my wedding because I hadn't really talked to him.
He comes
in
off
many
very
years.
opportunistic
Like,
for
Drake
me.
and Josh is something I'll be synonymous with forever, and I'm proud of it. And I
No,
wanna
you're
write the
not.
guy that my name is attached to forever. But unfortunately, you know,
You
it
don't
just
seem
sort
proud of
of
it
worked
at
out the way it
all.
did.
Every
It's
chance
pretty
you
safe to
get, you
say
shit
that
on
there's
it.
enough evidence in this video to prove
Like-
that this is a bold-faced lie. They were definitely friends. In fact, they often referred to each other as brothers. They even saw each other
Yeah, I
once
don't know
per
why
year,
he's
which
trying
is
to lie
actually
it
pretty
blatantly to our
frequent.
faces
A lot
like
of
that.
adults don't even get to see their close childhood friends once a year. Now, we do know that they weren't extremely close, they weren't attached at the hip or constantly involved in each other's lives, but Josh is basically saying that Drake was nothing more than a coworker, he barely spoke to him, and he actually didn't even like him. Which
Yeah,
means
which is
one of two
absolute
things.
bullshit.
Either this is actually how Josh felt deep down, and now he just has the perfect excuse to say it, or he's lying to the public to
Either way, he a
distance himself
snake.
from Drake because of his legal troubles. And it was from there that Drake's life began to spiral out of control. On December 7th, 2022, eyewitnesses caught Drake in the driver's seat of his car inhaling a substance out of balloons while his toddler son and wife were in the back seat. The very next day, another eyewitness report captured him outside of a vape shop inhaling a blue balloon with his child in the back seat. At the time, Bell was still on probation for attempted child endangerment and was seemingly engaging in a recreational substance known as whippets, where people inhale nitrous oxide from balloons,
Why are
causing
we
them to
doing
experience
whippets?
euphoria, hallucinogenic states, and relaxation. This drug is also extremely addictive and dangerous. The weird behavior continued on April 13th, 2023, when the Daytona Beach Police Department listed Drake Bell as missing and said he had been last seen before 9 p.m. on April 12th in the area of Mainland High School. The department's post noted what car Drake was likely driving, a 2022 gray BMW, and said he could be considered missing and endangered. TMZ obtained a 911 call where someone from Orlando PD explained why police were deeply concerned for Bell's well-being.
Basically, there is a celebrity who had a falling out with his wife. We got involved because the family, he's been texting the family in California saying that he's going to get drunk and hang himself. And he's in a hotel somewhere in Orlando.
Drake tweeted shortly after he was seemingly located, "You leave your phone in the car and don't answer for a night."
Oh my
This,
God, I'm
while
so
Drake
close.
seemed fine given the circumstances, the following week his wife filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Per the petition, Janet asked for legal and physical custody of their son Jeremy, with Bell getting visitation rights. She also sought spousal support. Bell later revealed that he found out my wife filed for divorce from TMZ before promoting his new song, Going Away. In the song, Drake ironically sings about moving away to a
Promotes
remote
his song.
island with his wife and son and starting a new life. Presumably unable to cope with the stress of losing his wife and child, eyewitnesses caught Drake using whippets once again
Whew.
on April 25th
Stop
as he
doing
inhaled from a
whippets.
fully inflated balloon,
Sir.
merely days after the media
Got it out.
publicized his divorce. When paparazzi
Okay,
asked him
I've now
about it,
got
was
this
his
whole
response.
side done.
What do you think? What do you guys say about that with balloons?
You know, it is what it is.
Oh, he doesn't even look like himself.
Everything's good?
Yeah, everything's fantastic.
Drake Bell was at the lowest point of his life. Drugs had taken over and he had nowhere left to turn but rehab. However, rehab changed his life more than he anticipated.
Rip Pee-wee. Got caught jerking it at an adult video place. Like, what else are you supposed to do there? And then everyone called him a pedophile. Justice for Pee-wee.
all day, and I was
like, girl, he was literally at an adult movie theater watching porn.
Talk about strangers, but even with people I was close to, had never gotten that
like,
deep about
okay.
things that I've experienced and things that have happened, and I was around so many people who, for the first time,
Like, we just want to be mad at that point.
Or incredible trauma in their lives, and were opening up and sharing, and that was the first time that I really felt like I was in an environment that was comfortable enough to share, and felt comfortable enough around people that weren't going to judge, and I really just wanted to see you get better.
During this time, a documentary was being worked on called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, which aimed to expose the toxic and abusive environment behind the scenes of Nickelodeon in the late 1990s and 2000s, particularly under producer Dan Schneider. The doc features former child stars and crew members sharing accounts of alleged mistreatment, exploitation, and inappropriate behavior that went unchecked for years. After rehab, Bell felt like he had a revitalized outlook on his past, and ultimately decided to tell his traumatic Nickelodeon childhood story to the world via this documentary.
Which, honestly, good for him. Like,
I was not going to be a part of it.
he definitely fucked up talking to the 15-year-old.
Let me see what your angle is here. I'll talk to you guys.
Hopefully that was a genuine fuck up, and it's not
Sharing my story will help.
worse than that.
After hearing about Drake's abuse, the public did a 180 shift on him. His comment sections went from calling him a pedophile to sharing love, condolences, and
But, like, the
positivity.
way that people
all of a
switch
sudden
up
were empathetic. Some even
100%
used his
is
past as an
weird.
excuse for
It's
him
like,
allegedly engaging in inappropriate behavior with minors. They said things like Bell was a part of the cycle of abuse and couldn't control what was happening.
no,
to
he,
him.
no,
It's
no,
true that
no, he
childhood
can control
abuse
it.
can
Nope,
have
he can
profound
still
psychological
control it
effects
though.
on
Like,
survivors,
that's
including
not,
trauma, depression, and
that's not
PTSD.
the,
Children who grow up suffering abuse may
that's
learn
not the
abusive
conclusion to be
behavior as a
drawing.
means of
It's
coping
just
or as a model for how relationships function.
that, like,
Approximately
maybe he
1/3 of all
can
individuals who
learn,
are abused in childhood will
hopefully.
become abusers themselves, according to a study funded by the National Institute of Justice. A survivor of childhood sexual abuse may try to undo that abuse by taking back power. Someone who has been abused can play the role of a more
but
powerful
that doesn't mean
person
they
in a
don't know any
relationship in an
better.
attempt to overcome the powerlessness they felt. One day after the Quiet on Set documentary released, Drake released a song and music video called I Kind of Relate. The song starts off with the lyrics, I found beauty in my pain, I'm running away from the abuse and all the shame, cause no one comes to my house
Just
anymore,
kind of
no
like
one knocks on my
bring
door.
the
These
gems
lyrics
out
are
a little.
complemented with a visual of him as a child entering his on-set trailer with a grown man who likely represents Brian Peck, his abuser. Then the track quickly transitions to his infamous 2006 car crash, where 19-year-old Drake Bell was stopped at a red light and a driver fell asleep at the wheel going 60 miles per hour, then crashed into his 1966 Mustang head-on. Bell broke his jaw in 3 places, fractured his neck, and lost a bunch of teeth. The song continues, I lost my path so long ago. In 2008, I found love in Mexico, because no one wants to hear me in the States, so I'm running away. However, Bell releasing this music video after the documentary made some people think he was being disingenuous, that he was essentially capitalizing off the publicity to sell a record. Others pointed out that he has been writing about the abuse in his music for
People
years,
make
like in his
art
2006 song, In
to
the End,
process
where he wrote,
things, and
"Monsters
his
in your
art
head
happens
let
to
you
be
fall
his
to
job,
yourself.
so
It's
that's a
alright
little,
if ugly little things remind you of how
like,
it felt.
yeah,
Another
most
day, no one
music
tells
tends
you
to
what
be
it
about, like,
means.
an
What's in
actual
your way,
situation.
what's in your dreams, the darkest place that you've ever been. Or in his 2020 track, What Is Wrong?
But,
Well, I
like,
wish I was a kid again, I would laugh and play, like we did back then. Would
people
I be
just need to
afraid
be
of all
able
the monsters
to
who just left
hold
me here
the
in
two
these abandoned
concepts
rooms?
of
We all know
he
that
can
artists
be
write
a
music based
victim
on
worthy
their
of sympathy
experiences,
for what
and
he
this
was
is a Drake Bell
victimized
story to
over,
tell.
and
Did
also
he
he can
pre-plan
also
this
be
song
held
and video
accountable
to
for
drop at
the
the same time this
actions
documentary
he
came
took
out for
against
strategic
others to
business
make them a
purposes?
victim. Like,
He
I don't know
absolutely did. But it's
how
pretty
people
safe to
can't
assume
understand
that
both
Drake
of those
would
things at the same
100 out
time.
of 100 times choose to not have experienced this horrific trauma. He would have rather had a normal childhood. And if the tiny benefit is that he can make a song about his pain, then so be it. You could also argue that all the people
Yeah, I
who
think
didn't
that's
want to
dumb.
hear his story until he came out about his own abuse are more disingenuous. Plus, the people that made the documentary are profiting off his story. Every
Yeah, I
YouTuber,
would argue
TikToker,
that
Twitch streamer talking
he's
about
right
it are
about
making
that.
money from it. The that does not
Stupid.
diminish or devalue the seriousness of his experience. From there, enraged fans began attacking his co-star Josh Peck, bombarding his comment section with hate, calling him an accomplice, and placing blame on him for Drake's abuse.
What?
They just somehow believed that Josh was complicit or aware of Drake's
How does that
situation.
make fucking
Josh
sense?
did
Is
make a
anyone
statement on
okay?
Instagram that he reached
Bro.
out to Drake privately and showed his support for the
I swear to
survivors that
God.
spoke out. Drake even asked
Everyone
supporters
has
to take it
lost
easy
their
on Josh.
minds.
He has reached out
Nuance is dead.
to talk with me and help me work through this.
Nuance got buried outside in the backyard.
Great, so just wanted to let you guys know that and to take it a little easy on it.
Drake asking people to give Josh grace is especially profound considering Josh threw him under the bus when Drake's allegations came to light. Then, 1 year later, in March of 2025, Josh invited Drake onto his podcast to have a 2-hour-long discussion about most of the things we covered in this video. This pod connected some of the missing pieces the public had been wondering about their roller coaster of a relationship over the years. And even though this podcast had deep introspective moments, great laughs, and some reconciliation, some fans still believe there is a resistance from Josh. At the very end of this podcast, Josh's co-host Ben says, "I love you, Drake," and Josh laughs at that and even repeats, "I love you, Drake," in a mocking, unserious tone, only for Drake to respond with a genuine, "I love you, Josh."
Love you, Ben. Love you.
I love you, Ben.
I love you, Drake. I love you, Drake.
Whenever Drake talks about feeling hesitant or
Weird.
insecure to reach out to Josh,
Josh
in
is
the
so
past,
weird.
Josh doesn't try to make him feel better or be like, "You can text me anytime."
I feel like Josh
He
is just
smiles and
trying
nods.
so hard to look like a good
Drake
person that
cares
it
way
gives
more
me
for
the...
Josh than Josh does for him. It's sad. and
It,
hard
like,
to
gives me a
watch.
weird
I'm sorry,
vibe.
but I think Josh is using him to his advantage. He did the same thing a few years ago when it benefited him in his YouTube career and then dropped him again. So fake. Josh has disrespected Drake several times and he comes off as a hater. Now he wants to stand with Drake because of what Drake disclosed happened to him. Such a shame. Josh seems like a fake friend who wants Drake for views. Then again, two things can be true at once. Maybe Josh
As
does
much
see Drake's
as
crimes as reprehensible and
that statement is
unforgivable,
true,
but at the same
girlfriend,
time,
the
he
reverse
can
is
still
also
feel
true.
empathetic for
You
a
can't
friend who went through
discredit
extreme
someone's abuse
traumatic
because they went on to
childhood.
do something
Even
bad.
Josh does still feel resentment towards Drake,
Which a lot of people either fall into one camp or the other, where they're
or Drake's criminal history, it
fully
doesn't change
discrediting
this absolute fact.
the abuse that
These
Drake
two
went
are
through,
just not
which,
the two loving brothers that
let me be
fans
clear,
so desperately
the
want
abuse
them
that
to
he
be.
went through
Drake and Josh's
is like
relationship
not
actually very
comparable
realistic to the
to
real
him
world. It's
sexting
just
a 15-year-old.
I'm
That's
sure
like
you have
not
a friend or
comparable.
brother or cousin
Those are
or
like
distant family member that you love deep down, but you also don't agree with their life choices.
like,
and maybe they
let's
piss
be
you off
realistic, like that
sometimes,
is
but
not
also you
comparable
understand what they're
levels
going through, and
of
you
abuse
truly
happening.
wish the best for them. You also kinda miss
Still
them
bad,
when you see them,
still
you
should
bond
have
and have great times
pled
and
guilty
do
like he
laughs,
did and
but
all of
then
that.
time goes by
But
and
like,
you start to feel those same resentments, or maybe they mess up again, and you think, all right, I'm done with them
the
forever.
amount of
Even though,
abuse
you know,
and the
you
type of
never
abuse that he
actually
went
tell them
through,
how you really
most people
feel
can't even like
because
literally
it's
even
awkward,
imagine
or
it,
you don't think you should
much
have to
less
speak to
have
them, they
any
should just
concept
know,
of
or
what
you're not allowed to
processing
tell
that
them
would
at
look
all how
like.
to live their
So,
life, or you are holding on to that love
I don't
you
know.
have for them deep down. And the only
A little
true
bit of
way to
perspective
get out of
is
this limbo is to talk with them.
important
There is a possibility that even if you do talk,
because
you have a permanent falling out that could lead to you never seeing
him doing that
person again.
would have
And you
never
won't know that
happened
until
if the
day
other
you
thing hadn't happened.
or they
That's
die.
just,
So what ends up happening most of the time is you never
yeah.
truly address those problems.
Girl,
even though
what does
both
that
of
have
you
to
know
do
they exist,
with
and
the
in a cycle
conversation?
of love, hate, tension, animosity,
So,
remorse,
anyway,
guilt, and reconciliation goes on and on
yeah,
forever.
like,
This is essentially Drake and Josh's
none of it exists in a
complicated
vacuum,
relationship, only they are
is my
famous,
point.
And while most of you all probably
So
have
it's
that
like,
type of
people like
relationship in
him
your life,
who
nobody knows
have
about it.
that
They have
history,
millions of
those are the
followers
people who
diving and
we
dissecting
rehabilitate
these extremely complicated
and like
nuances.
get them in with
So
like
is their beef
intensive
officially
therapy
over? Well,
and
this
like
podcast would indicate
someone
so,
to
but it's more likely
monitor
that
them
they're just in
so
the
that they can
reconciliation
improve their
stage of
behavior.
their complicated relationship cycle. Maybe they will do
Yeah.
another collab soon and seem like they are on great terms. But if their relationship is as realistic as
No,
we
I'm
think,
saying that
it's
most
only a
people
matter of time
can't
before the
imagine.
cycle repeats and fans
I'm
start
just saying most
wondering
people
again,
haven't
hey,
gone through the type
what's
of
going
abuse
on
he
with
has
Drake
gone
and
through.
Josh? I thought they were friends.
They haven't gone through that level of abuse. So, like, you can't really, like, most people don't have a frame of reference to judge his behavior on. And, like, Israel killing children, like, is terrible, but has nothing to do with individual, like, childhood sexual assault that happens on, like, a private scale. That is war, which is terrible and causes other traumas, absolutely, but this is like a singular event. This is a singular event to a singular person. I mean, like, it's events over a span of time, but it's a one person being impacted by this. That's not what's not clicking? Okay, I'm gonna ban you because you seem disingenuous and stupid. So, yeah. Anyway, like, that's not... What the fuck are you talking about right now? Like, girl, we're talking about childhood sexual assault, and you're like, but war though, but war crimes! Like, yeah, girl, we all agree war crimes are bad. What the fuck are you talking about right now? Like, genuinely, what are you talking about? Anyway, go sit in a corner, okay, and think about your behavior. Think about the arguments you want to make and why you feel it is important to derail conversations about childhood sexual assault and refocus them on things that you want to talk about. Just introspectively think about why that was an important thing for you to say in chat, and then maybe you will grow as a person. So anyway, we're gonna move on from what you're saying because that has fuck all to do with what we're talking about. So, anyway. There are abusers who are abusers that haven't gone through fucking anything and then go on to just watch the fucking world burn and light it on fire while they go. Right? Like, those people. However, that's a lot more rare. And I feel like if we all collectively understand how to be empathetic and understanding towards people who have recently gone through abuse so that they don't go on to further that cycle of abuse by reinforcing positive relationships and, like, positive interactions with those people outside of abuse, like, then they can learn what healthy relationships are. They can learn what healthy behavior is, because a lot of times that shit gets very warped. It gets very warped. But, like, it doesn't mean that you don't know it's bad. It's just that bad things are normalized to you. So it's very complicated psychologically, especially with someone who's gone through that level of abuse for that amount of time. So yeah, like, it really fucks with you. So it's like, empathy goes a long way. And yeah, like, people like Drake's abuser under the jail, right? Beyond reproach. Like, just no. Drake, however, like, let's monitor your phone activity. Let's make sure you're not in contact with any minors. Strict boundaries, you know? But, like, maybe with a lot of therapy, you can learn that you don't do that and you don't repeat those behaviors. And, like, if you talk to... Oh, hello, camera. If you talk to most psychologists and therapists, they will agree with me on that. That's why a lot of times that's the treatment that they get. Which considering they're not, like, they haven't committed a crime where we can just, like, throw away the key. That's a lot more productive, because otherwise there's just one of two options. You either ignore it or you throw away the key, and that's not really fucking productive, is it? It's not. It doesn't stop the cycle of abuse. This is how we stop it, is we're, like, empathetic, and then be like, but you can't do that, though. Okay, you can't do that, though. Like, the fuck? So, yeah. Like, it's, as much as his ex-girlfriend is saying there's a history of this, bitch didn't go to the cops and has no proof of that, so, like, I can't really do anything with her statements there. Because, like, if you genuinely had proof of that and you didn't immediately go to the cops, you are the same as him then, at that point. Because what the fuck? What the fuck? So, like, her word is shaky to me. If you were aware of that and didn't fucking go to the cops, that's really creepy. So I feel like you're kind of just saying that to pile on. But, yeah. Because that's just, like, really convenient for you. So, yeah. Also, Josh. Like, I love how all these people are like, yeah, this is why I wasn't friends with him. Like, y'all didn't go to the fucking cops. The fuck? I'm side-eyeing you more. Because what, you absolutely know better. Hello? Go to the police if you're aware of that. Huh? So weird. And she can't be like, well, I was, like, worried for my own safety, so I didn't want to, like, report, like, my own abuse. That's not what's happening, girl. You're saying other children are at risk and you're not going to the cops? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's so weird to me. Anyway. Let me find another video for us to watch. I was like, what the fuck? People who know about that shit and don't go to the police are like... The fuck? You can try to make a counter argument for it, but I can't see a way that you could. Like, unless you have a gun pointed to your head, there is no reason for you to not call the cops. Like, absolutely not. Like, I'm turning on your ass so fucking quickly. So quickly. Also, I just realized I never updated my thumbnail for the stream. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, let me see. Oh, shit. All right, let's go. I love Noir stuff, so this will be great. This will be the last thing we watch. We'll go a little over 3, but that'll be fine. 2 would be perfect timing. All right. Okay, here we go.
I now present to you the Royal Majesty from Didulo.
I mean, does anyone else have the shark plush that isn't trans? That's a good question.
My fellow Canadians, I address you today as your Queen and Commander-in-Chief. We are on the eve of World War III. Allahu Akbar. The translation is God is the Great.
Yeah, but like, if you're worried about his reputation over the safety of a child, that's literally my whole point. That's like my entire point.
The Queen of Canada.
is that that makes you a bad person.
I won't bless the Atlantic Ocean.
Like, there's not a good reason. There is no justified reason to not go to the cops if you're aware of that. And the cops agree with me, it's quite literally a crime if you're aware of a crime being committed and you don't, like, go and tell the police.
I'm not a
You're now an
dictator.
accomplice.
I am guided by the highest divine beings.
I do believe it is a cult. She is
It's
very
giving cult,
dictatorial
yeah.
towards the people who live there, demands that they do certain things. That all speaks to me as a cult.
What the
He said to me,
hell?
if Kevin didn't pull over when I called him to, he would have been shot. Could she be abusive?
Yeah, but not thinking straight, leading to you being a bad person, still ends up with you being a bad person.
Queen of Canada has offered up threats, even calling for a public execution of elected officials. And for some, her wish is...
Like, that just shows me your lack of, like, judgment. And at a certain point, having that level of lack of judgment makes you a bad person.
Yeah, he wears red high heel shoes down the main street with the elite.
God help us and Godspeed.
Assalamu alaikum. And I will say this in Arabic also. Allahu Akbar.
I don't know how old he was when they were dating. I have no idea.
Hi guys. Today I want to talk about...
But either way, why are you telling Twitter? Go to the cops! What do you want us to do?
Didulo. She is the Queen of Canada. She's also an alien, and she can speak to babies telepathically.
Like, if you just want to vent about it, absolutely come tell Twitter. If you want action to happen, do not fucking tell Twitter.
Not only does she
What do you want them to do?
She is somehow at the center of it in the best way possible. If there's some kind of heroic thing, oh, she's the hero. If there's ever
She's the hero.
I need to wear a tinfoil hat. This is the one. This is the magnum
Arnar.
opus. So I'm gonna need you to grab a
Hello,
snack
Pips.
and your tinfoil hat and settle in, because I'm gonna take you on a journey, baby. I have converted to a new underwear company. You thought I was gonna say religion? No, it's called Parade. They make underwear, and they are sponsoring this video. I am not going to try this on for you. I'm not, okay? Because I don't want to. It's not that kind of channel, baby. They have several lines, but the one that I particularly like is called Replay. And the reason why I like it is because it's using fabric and materials that would usually be wasted in this process of
iCarly? Yeah, I like iCarly good enough.
And they're not sacrificing things like style and comfort. Now, when it comes to my underwire bras, that type
I like iCarly, but I'm
of
like,
for me is
have a
pretty
love-hate
uncomfortable.
relationship
Like,
with it
after
because
a
I feel
certain
like
point, I'm like, oh my god, I just want to take it off. It's just the nature of
the entire
Except
show
with
did
this
Sam
one, It
dirty.
gives me the support that I need while still being comfortable. Usually, I would have to either get less support, more comfort, or whatever, because the fabric, let me tell you, this particular set, it
Like,
is
that
the
show
color
itself
is
was
called colorful.
harmful to Jeanette, and you can, like, really feel it when you're watching the show in retrospect. So it's, like,
I have a code for you,
hard
and
for
it's
me
a
to
pretty
rewatch that
good
show.
code. So it's 30% off the entire
The corset
set.
painting worked out good. Now I'm just
There is no minimum purchase.
gluing all the gems.
So I love that. You could scan the QR code, which I will put here. Become a Parade convert like me. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and thank you to Parade for supporting my channel and sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. So the whole thing started when a little alien starseed
Oh no,
royal
not the
baby
starseed.
was born in the Philippines. We don't really know much about her early life in the Philippines because there's not a lot of facts about that other than her own version of events. Now, I'm gonna need to I'm gonna need you to take it with a whole salt shaker worth of salt. The TV just turned off and now I'm yellow, and it turned back on and I'm blue again. The aliens are out to get me.
The aliens are out to get
me. The thing is, I don't know why I'm talking like this because I'm in a hotel room and I feel like they can hear me. But I'm gonna have to get over that. There aren't many records. Now what we do have is her website. So that's what I was talking about when I said take it with a salt shaker of salt before the aliens
take
tried
these
to
off of
intercept
here
me.
so that I can glue
And
them
so,
on.
I just want to read you.
Because they have like
from her
sticky
website,
back
because
on them, but
honestly,
it's really shit.
It's nothing better than her own words. So here we go. There are a lot of typos, and I will read them as written. Okay. Early life. Born to a privileged life, modern equivalent of royal family, the youngest of 2 children. Oh, she speaks in the third person all the time. Romana was raised speaking English, Latin, Spanish, Tagalog, and Hiligaynon, taught by her grandmother, a grade 1 school teacher. The same grandmother of hers who mounted strategic defense and offense and successfully blocked the Japanese from invading their regional stronghold, all caps, during World War II, all lowercase. Growing up with the profound influence of her grandmother, Father Romualdo Didulo Jr., a lawyer and engineer, and her mother, Anna Didulo, and her eldest aunt,
Higher Tanner stage? Wait, what?
School principal. After she became orphaned at age 10 years old, and again at age 11 years old. Orphan life X2. Romana's father died when she was at the tender age of 10 years old, and just as she was learning to cope with the devastating lose, her mother also passed away a year later. An earth-shuddering experience for a child
Devastating lose.
at the age of 11 years old. Now she found herself without a father and mother and with uncertain future. And while her grandparents and aunties tried their best to care for Romana and her older brother, no one can ever replace the love and care of a doting father and mother. Adjusting to the new life in Canada at age 50. On July 25th, 1990, at the tender age of 15 years old, and with yet another heartache of having to leave what little familiarity and comfort she had left, Romana summoned her courage to get on the airplane bound for Vancouver, Canada. Now, the rest of her website, it is incomplete. So there's this like Latin thing, that lorem ipsum stuff that they put in, like it's like dummy text that they put in these when they're building websites when you haven't put in like, what it actually wants to say. So she said that basically she is from this ancient royal family in the Philippines, and that the cabal and the deep state, right, they are aware of her royal family because her family is very charitable, and over the years they have donated trillions of dollars to like the good of humanity. They've done this for generations, so they've been on the radar of the cabal and the deep state, which if you don't know the cabal and the deep state, we'll get into a little bit about QAnon, but it's basically like parts of the government, that the elite that are evil and sinister, and they do all these awful things, and they're the ones that are in control, and they're bad people. Okay, this evil cabal, they've been trying to get her to flip to be on their side for a long time, according to her, and they would tempt her with bank accounts with billions of dollars in them and like gold bars and things like this. But she said she doesn't get tempted or has never accepted that because she doesn't have an ego. And so because she doesn't have an ego, she doesn't have a desire for men. She tried to start a few businesses because remember she doesn't have an ego, but they all failed. So here's some of the businesses that she started and failed. So the first was in October 2006. There's this magazine clipping where she was featured as the president and CEO of Global Solutions Canada, which is a recruitment company that specializes in helping Canadian companies that are in the oil and gas industry hire foreign workers. Now you'll see a common theme in a lot of her businesses is basically recruiting, which when you think about like a cult leader, you know, you are kind of recruiting members. A year later, she started a few more businesses. This time, they were also recruiting, but instead of in the oil and gas industry, she did a engineering recruiting firm, and then she also did a healthcare industry recruiting firm, and those also, they kind of fizzled out. She would renew the license, those businesses went away. And then she also then started a real estate business, which she called
let it go.
Didulo Holding Inc.
It's time to stop. It's time to pack it up.
At some point, after all of
it's not working.
She becomes homeless, and she's now sleeping on the floor of her friend's nail salon. Eventually, though, she then gets a regular 9-to-5 job, which allows her to then move into this
I didn't know that
basement
Starseeds
in
needed a
Victoria,
9 to 5.
British Columbia, where she has a roommate. So it is around this time, circa 2017, where Romana, she's got her 9-to-5 job, but she's also online a lot. It was also around this time that the QAnon conspiracy, is beginning on the internet, and she's really into it. It's also around this time that she says that something happened. Somebody very powerful visited her in the dark of night in the basement of this place that she was living.
What?
And it is a man called King David J. Carlson. He goes by His Highness David J. Carlson, Commander-in-Chief David J. Carlson, and he is the King of the United States. Did you know the United States has a king? Yes, it does. And this is
Yes, it does.
according to her and to him. He's like an online persona, but she claims that he visited her in the basement, and he tells her, I have a mission for you.
In the basement.
Like, I know who you are, right? You're this special person, and there are tunnels in Canada, and the Chinese are invading Canada in these tunnels. They're using these tunnels for human trafficking,
What the hell?
Organ harvesting.
Dude, why do all these people
for,
always have
adrenal-
conspiracies around tunnels somewhere?
What is it called? Adrenochrome?
There's
Which
always
also in
tunnels.
2017, there was a movie that came out called Adrenochrome. And this is a movie based, it's like a horror movie, it's kind of weird. But essentially, it's this adrenochrome is a thing that the body makes. It's like oxidized adrenaline, but at the same time, you can also manufacture it in a lab, like synthetically. And there is a lot of people who believe in the QAnon thing who also talk about adrenochrome being part of this cabal
What
and
the
deep
hell?
state, like these evil people. What they do is they torture these children, do such awful things to them to get them to secrete the adrenochrome from adrenaline thing because they're stressed, and they harvest that and they ingest it somehow, and it gives them youth and like mortality. It keeps them vital, strong, it keeps them young, fresh, whatever, right? So in these tunnels, King David is telling her that they're doing all this stuff, and like she has to stop it, or else it's going to be World War III. They're not only going to, Chinese are not just going to take over Canada, they're going to take over the United States.
Oh my god.
So she said, she was up for the task, baby. Why? Single-handedly, she stopped World War III in the tunnels, in the basement.
In the
of this
tunnels?
apartment. And then, that's when King David told her, you are, and this is her head and these are her shoulders, you are queen. Do you knight the queen? I don't know what the hell I'm saying. He appointed, he made her the queen. I don't know why I'm trying to say these like queenly terms when I'm clearly a peasant. But anyway, yeah, he said that she is now the queen of Canada, but he's like, you can't tell anybody yet, it's not the time. But she
It's
tells
not the
her
time.
roommate, 'cause she's so excited, and then her roommate starts calling her Your Majesty, and then she tells her roommate, if you tell people I'm the queen of Canada, I'm gonna have to kill you, and I don't want to do that, so I'm not telling you.
Please.
So this is all happening in 2017.
Okay, this whole side is complete.
Life is going on, and then 2020 rolls around. And, you know,
Oh my god,
is
okay.
happening, and she decides
I
she
gotta do
wants
all of
to
it on
be
this
not
side.
a queen, but a politician. She's starting a political party, and she does. It's called Canada First.
It's a good thing I have more time to do
She
this.
starts this political party in 2020. She's got a little picture, even on her website. She has her, when you read her thingy on there, it says Canada and Canadians' economic freedom or enslavement depends on you. This is your last chance to make a real change in Canada. We have to save Canada and Canadians from globalists and communists' chokehold.
Okay.
That means dissolving all pre-existing national political parties in Canada because they have been infiltrated by and are serving foreign interests. Their plans for Canada and Canadians are not your plans.
Of course.
Didulo, founder and leader of Canada First Party of Canada. So it turns out that Canada First Party of Canada is actually
First
not
Party of
registered
Canada
as
is a
a
really
political
funny
party in
name for
Canada,
that.
but It is registered as a corporation. It was on at this time Telegram, which is an app, and that
Oh my
app
god.
had a lot of the
Thank you,
female
Steve.
community
Also, let
on
me.
it, so she's following it,
Cheers.
she's watching it, she's also participating in it, but at this time she's not getting a lot of attention. But then what ends up happening in February of 2021, these things called Q drops, where Q, who was
Well, it works on YouTube because YouTube's not an adult website.
a high-ranking military official who would leave these clues and is the one who started this QAnon conspiracy, which is basically
I make you
this
think of
idea
Eli from The Last of Us. Dude, I haven't
in
played the
short,
new one.
that there is this secret battle going on in Washington where These people have put President Trump in power to fight against the evil cabal,
I feel
the
you.
deep state, who are the people who are doing the things like harvesting the adrenochrome and awful things with children and trafficking and just really, really bad things. They're trying to take over, they're bad, like, and it really reaches a lot of things.
Oh my god. When I was at my grandpa's 80th birthday party, my aunt, she was like, I just learned recently about the lizard people. Yeah, the lizard people. They're like a real conspiracy theory. They're actually people who think that there's lizard people. And I was like, oh girl, you just found out about that?
She's still being commander-in-chief trying to get attention. And now...
Like, yeah, that's been a thing for a while.
She takes over the spotlight. What does she do? She changes her name from commander-in-chief to Queen Romanus. And her acronym, she goes by QR. Remember, QAnon, the guy who's doing the Q drops is Q. So now she's QR. And she says that she is put in power by the same people who put Trump in power. They put her in power, but in Canada. And she's like saying all the things that they believe in.
No, like they think celebrities and like world leaders are lizards.
At the time, they were really against the COVID
Lizard people.
restrictions and the vaccines and lockdowns and social distancing, masking, all that stuff. So she's
Do I have kids?
saying all
Does it
that. There's
look
all these
or
people
seem
that
like
are
I have
Q drops.
kids?
There's no Q drops, but here comes QR code, okay? And she's like, they put me in power, and I'm gonna do this and that. And so there were several of these other QAnon internet personalities that had a lot of followers that kind of endorsed her. They're like, you know what, she's doing a good thing, like we support her. And overnight on Telegram, she gets like 20,000 followers.
Oh my God.
Okay?
Of course she
and now
does.
they're all listening, waiting. Like, what does she have to say? So now it's May 2021, and she's like making these claims. She's basically saying that Justin Trudeau, who at the time was the commander-in-chief in
These people are
Canada,
so
was
easy to
no
convince to
longer
be in a
power,
cult,
it was
bro.
her, and that she personally executed Queen Elizabeth II, I think, of England, the Queen of England.
Of course.
At the time she was alive, she's no longer alive now, but at the time she was alive. But Romana said she executed her. Everything that you see on TV and stuff, these are either clones or CGI.
Those are CGI people.
Girl.
And they notice that the people that they're seeing on TV are so big. Those are CGI. The people that they think that are still in charge, they're gone. They've been sent to Didulo. So I'm grateful for your time, guys. Thank you for your time. And thank you very much.
So remember,
So I'm thankful for your time, Your Majesty.
It's still part of the Commonwealth of the UK, but got a little bit more independence. But technically, still, the Queen of England is the ultimate person there. So she's saying, I killed her. I'm the true queen. And so here's where it gets weird. She's not just the queen. She's not just a descendant of royals. She, as I mentioned earlier, is an alien. And she ain't no basic bitch alien.
Starseed.
Either.
Yeah.
She is an Arcturian from Arcturia. Duh.
Duh.
The most advanced.
Please.
Became an entire community of light beings.
Ben 10's just like, I don't have that one. What do you mean? I don't what?
What I do here directly affects out there. And that is why they are escorting and protecting my convoy.
These are high-level aliens. Okay, they've got crazy.
These are
crazy
high-level
technology. They can
aliens.
disarm any weapon, including nukes, missiles, whatever. And they're very enlightened. And her mission, she was
Please, dude,
given
I
a mission
can't.
from, hold on, let me say it correctly, the Intergalactic Federation of Worlds of Light Beings, the High Council, and Alliance. And she refers to herself as Mother. Who of you here remember when I talked about Mother God, who was also sent by the
Please,
Intergalactic
stop it.
In addition to being Arcturian starseed, she's like the best of the Arcturian starseeds, which are already a high-level alien race. Because she has like the Powerpuff Girls, you know how they have sugar
The Bops are my best friends.
and then ingredient X, she has DNA X, which makes her...
She's Alien X? Oh my god.
What does it do? I want to say this correctly. She has unlimited consciousness, which is why they
Of
sent her
course.
down to Earth to help save mankind from
Makes perfect sense.
COVID vaccines, you know, currency.
The real
currencies,
threat against
global
humanity.
economy, just like taxes.
Taxes!
Right? She has these abilities, right?
Yeah, that's what the aliens are gonna come to here for, here to save us from taxes. They're like, please, learn the ways of the stars. No taxes.
She has, Men in Black, where they can do with the pen and they remove your memory. She can do that, but she doesn't even need the pen because they're basic and she's not. So she's like, you don't want to take the COVID vaccine because this is basically going to turn us into robots that will follow like the elites. What you need is this new technology that I have from my other alien friends, the Pleiadians. Okay, that's a different.
Yeah, 22 was not my favorite year. I'm gonna be honest.
And they came up.
Early 20s was just kind of shitty in general.
Medical pods, if you will, beds that have amazing powers. They can
wait for late 20s. It's way better.
They can cure cancer. They can make you immortal. And obviously,
and it'll go by very quickly.
Med bed is fixed. Now the problem is these med beds that the Pleiadians gifted we the people. I sound insane. I was being serious about this shit. But she is the one that's the problem. You can see that this escalates to like crazy levels in the real world.
It always does.
But, so anyways, the med beds. The Pleiadians gifted them to we the people. That's another thing she says. Like instead of humans or whatever, she'll be like we the people. Like,
to the we the people of the Kingdom of Canada, I address you today as your Commander-in-Chief and Queen. I must inform
Girl, does Canada even do a we the people? Isn't that an America thing?
As part of my negotiation with the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces.
But who took them and stole them and is hiding them? Okay? Big Pharma.
Big
the
Pharma.
Those
of course.
They fuck everything. Right now they've got the med beds. And so she is trying to get the med beds back. But how's she gonna do that? She needs help. Donations. Grift. She is asking them to give her money so that she can, I don't know, get the med beds. Whatever happens, she always needs money. You're gonna see.
Any donations or contributions to
God
this
damn it.
effort is greatly appreciated.
Then she's
God damn it.
My goal is
Of
that
course.
every Canadian is going to have access to a med bed. And then once I get every Canadian access to a med bed, I'm also going to give every
Obsession with the med
United
beds.
States military veteran access to med beds. And of course, I will take those veterans' donations.
Okay, time to put these bitches back.
What a bitch. So she's promising them this basically non-existent alien
Let's see if I
technology.
can do this. Is
The
this
med
gonna be
beds.
easier?
And it's sad. Like I found this clip to some person on wheelchairs being like, "Does it fix?" Oh, I hate it. Like he's so happy. He's like, "I'm gonna be running around and skipping when I do it." It's just like she's preying on the weak and the vulnerable.
No more big pharma. We are replacing that down with our med beds.
What the fuck are the med beds supposed to do exactly?
Yes. Then we'll use that signature as a human being and then perfectly create you.
Oh man, I can't wait to get in that. I'll be running streets. I won't be walking the streets.
A lot of her followers are and
I hate
they're
that.
not very well off. Maybe they're on a fixed income, and so like when she tells them things, which I'll tell you later about her decrees, which she does all these decrees, she's like, "Decree up, baby."
Also, I will be issuing a royal decree. Many of you have paid attention to several of my royal decrees and have taken credits for my
It's
royal
crazy how some people can just like fully LARP and other people go along with it.
I'm wearing orange today, and that to complement Royal Decree 261.
Which one?
And follow Queen Anna's Royal Decrees.
We're here today to talk about her
Which one?
54 written decrees, which are like executive orders. Those are a little more royal decrees I'd like to talk about that made homelessness and poverty awful.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for stopping us from learning how to speak Chinese. You're welcome. That is very excellent. I'm very happy about that.
And she's like, "You have to go home and read the decrees and memorize the decrees and sit at the dinner table and repeat the decrees to your children and your family." And she decreed crazy ass shit. Okay, first she said,
What the hell?
removing all debt. Then she said,
Removing all debt.
No taxes, no utilities.
So free
Thanks. Thanks, Queen.
Our water system should be free to everyone. No one should be paying. By the way, we don't have an income tax. Yes? Have we removed the income tax?
Age of consent is 24. Literally everything that is illegal is punishable by death, and the death penalty has to be done very quickly within 24 hours. It's either going to be a hanging or a firing squad, and it's public. You have to be 24. So what ended up happening is these people.
But you have to be 24.
And she tells them, don't pay your bills and your taxes. Give me the money.
Oh, God.
For that, I'll give you the decree. This decree is going to let people know that you don't have to pay this
Oh,
anymore.
my God.
So these people, they give her money. They don't pay their taxes. They don't pay their bills.
What the hell?
Their water gets shut off. Their power gets shut off. They give them the decree to the judge or the utilities company, and they're like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah, like
You know?
what?
And then like some of them lost their homes.
Obviously. Oh my God.
In the United States, you will see manifestation of all my royal decrees in Canada very, very fast.
Now she's got over
It's not.
followers on Telegram.
I forget what it was.
Coming from every which way. And you'll see this woman, she can make a lot of money from donations. Like she gets 100,000 in 2 months. She gets these like crazy donations from people. It's quite impressive, actually. And remember, the pandemic is raging. So now you've got a vaccine mandate, and she does not like it, and neither do her followers. A lot of people did not like the vaccine mandate. And so she said, listen, I got a solution for this. I uploaded a PDF of my decree. It's a cease and desist of all things to do with COVID restrictions. No more PCR tests, like cease and desist PCR tests, vaccine mandate, masking policy, anything to do with like social distancing, lockdown, that kind of stuff, right? And so she says, take this decree, go to places in public. Now this is the first time stuff is really going from online to IRL in real life. And you're going to start to see this is where it becomes concerning, because she has a really strong ability to galvanize people to do things in the real world for her, not just online. So she's like,
How? I don't understand how people like this are so persuasive to people. It's crazy.
Stuff, and you give them the cease and desist, and they're going to cease and desist. So people did it, and nobody ceased or desisted. You know, they were people filming themselves doing it, and nothing really happened.
Cease and desist order, it's pretty self-explanatory, signed by we the people.
Signed by we the people. Girl, nobody gives a fuck.
Have these codes, like they would talk about milkshake, giving them a milkshake, which was like this poisonous milkshake that would kill them. So if there was someone they didn't like, they'd be like, oh, we should make them a milkshake. Or like send them to the spa. The spa was code for like firing squad. And then also she would have this duck hunter.
What is this LARP?
The people who would enforce her decrees and hunt the ducks and get rid of the ducks. And so it all culminated in her doing something that was going to get her detained and put in the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation.
I mean, yeah.
And that was when she did this video where she was saying anybody who administers a vaccine to a child under 19 is going to get 2 bullets in their head.
You will receive not 1, but 2.
I feel like that's
bullets.
Grounds for psych hold.
Very carefully before you touch that needle.
This is when Romana gets detained, and they put her in for the psychiatric evaluation. They also get a search warrant for her devices, like a computer, a laptop, and she had like 4 or 5 BlackBerry cell phones, which they took all of them. And then they didn't release her without charge. And she then said, in the third person after she came out, she said, Queen Romana is not insane. She was cleared by a psychiatrist at Royal Jubilee Hospital. And then she said, listen, it's not what it looks like. You know how like all the leaders of countries and stuff, they have to do these like annual physicals? Well, that's what this is, but they can't reveal it because remember, the QAnon thing's like secret, you don't want the cabal to know or anything. So they made it look like she was being taken in for psychiatric evaluation, but really it was just annual physical as Queen of Canada. She's all good. They
Stop.
She didn't do anything wrong. They would have charged her, right? But everyone noticed, well, not her followers, but everyone else noticed that she may not have been arrested, but when arrest and like stuff like that. So she wasn't threatening people anymore. So that was the end of 2021. Now it's the beginning of 2022. And do you know what happened in Canada, specifically in Ottawa, in the beginning of 2022? Something known as the Freedom Convoy, which is when a lot of people went. It was kind of like a protest. There was a lot of truckers with big rigs that went, and this was also in protest of COVID restrictions. So she really wants to be a part of this, right? This is all
Of course she
in
does.
her community, her wheelhouse, and keep in mind, she's never really gone public. She's always been online, whether it's her live streams or her Telegram posts, but she's never gone in person. And she's like, this is the perfect opportunity for me
So
to
fucking tedious.
make my debut. And so she realizes, okay, well, the thing is, how am I gonna get there? Because she lives still with roommates, so she ends up contacting her most loyal
She has
followers
roommates?
online, moderators, right? She feels she can trust them. She tells them, listen, I want to go
Rip to her roommates, bro.
She needs staff, you know, the queen's staff.
She needs
By the way, she doesn't drive. She needs a vehicle. She needs something.
Oh,
So
God.
they end up raising money with donations, whatever, to get an RV, and her followers are gonna come pick her up, and they're gonna go in this caravan. They call themselves the mobile government, and they're going to join this freedom convoy in Ottawa. So these two moderators that show up, they would end up
Bless you,
being
Bubbles.
some of her most loyal followers in the beginning, and then she treated them so awful. She was so abusive, and we'll get to in a second, but
Bro.
they would end up leaving, and they're the ones who say, you know, this information that I'm about to tell you. So they say that when they go to pick her up, she's standing outside of this home, and before she goes inside, she tells them, listen, don't call me queen, just call me Romana. These people here, they don't know about my double life and that I have this queen, like I'm the queen and all this, so just,
Don't know about my
pretend
double
that
life.
everything's normal. So they're like, okay, they say they went in, the house was filthy, there's like trash everywhere, stuff packed like, just stuff, trash, junk everywhere. But they went in, they helped her grab her stuff, they get in the caravan, and they start driving. They said they damn near drove nonstop, and it's like during this trip, and in all the other trips that they're gonna be doing on this caravan, where they realize that she is a straight up abuser, she's mean, she's evil, she's cruel, but they still think she's this queen, goddess, Arcturian, whatever. So let me tell you. So there are about 12
It's a
people
good thing my
in
nails are
this
slightly
caravan,
long right now.
and they
Otherwise
are
I would not be able to get these off.
They're wearing all white, and they have this like QR stuff for like Queen Romana, their QR code, and then their hats, their white hats, and their black hats are
Not her branding them.
and she is basically having them wait on her hand and foot. I mean, she doesn't
God
do
damn it.
anything. She doesn't lift a finger. She's the queen. To the point where she had one of her followers, she woke her up at 4 in the morning just to
Absolutely
press
not.
a button on the coffee maker for her.
Girl. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Waking someone out of their sleep to press a button for you. And they did it too, which is even crazier. The way that I would just like flip the coffee machine and walk out. All she does is do live streams and post royal decrees and live streams and Telegram posts, and everyone else is just, she has them living in filth. Because remember, when they went to her home, that shit was nasty. Well, the RV's nasty too. She freaking trash everywhere.
Ew.
Then she adopts these dogs that she calls the royal puppies. She lets them
The
shit
royal
all over the
puppies.
RV, not clean it up. She lets them
No.
sleep on the beds and makes her followers sleep on the floor. The shit she hits the floor.
God fucking
the food
damn
that
it.
they're eating is all expired and rotten.
It's like she read like
And so they're like not eating because they're disgusted by everything.
a
So they're using
stereotype
all, like saying they lost like 15 pounds.
of like the
Do you wanna
worst
do the
cult leader
nasty
possible,
Romana
and they're just
diet?
like, yeah, I'll do that.
Of, like,
That
dog
works.
shit and trash and rotten food. She will not let them bathe or do laundry, even when they had access to it. Okay, like she wanted them nasty. It's very weird.
So
Even when there were
gross.
some people who wanted to join and then they later left, they did this interview where they're saying like part of the interview process was them being like, are you aware that you're not going to be able to like shower and change your clothes and stuff? And the lady's like, well, I do that anyway, so I joined.
It says, are you willing to not shower regularly, work shifts at night, work 24/7, not do laundry for weeks at a time?
Yeah, well, that's my life pretty much anyways, so.
You were used to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
in the RV, there
Girl,
was like
why?
several RVs, right? And the one of the RVs
No.
is just for Romana
Stand
and her,
up.
royal puppies, and that was called the command center. And in there, she had a bathroom that only she could use. Everybody else had to like share whatever bathrooms were left. And then that bathroom broke, and so she then kicked everyone off of the other RV that had a bathroom, and then used that as her personal bathroom.
Bro.
To now that they didn't have access to a bathroom on the RV, they have to use like public restrooms and stuff. Listen, and this is the part that honestly cracked me up so hard when I was reading it, because they were saying in this article that she was obsessed with the song Rasputin by Bonnie M. You know,
Why?
Who lived long ago. He was baby.
Why?
I like from Bonnie M.
That's so random.
Daddy cool. Talk about daddy cool. So every morning at like 6 a.m. she would blast it for about an hour.
What the hell?
Just to like set the vibe.
What? Just to set the
One
vibe?
day, she blasted Rasputin by Bonnie M for 10 hours non-stop on loop while they were driving. 10 hours of the same song. I'll read you the quote.
Absolutely not. I like that song, but
She's
fuck
yelling, "We
no.
got a war, people. Time to get up," and dancing around like a lunatic. And then let's talk about her anger and her rage that she would go into, where she would literally threaten to kill people and punish them insanely all the time. So first of all,
Bro, what?
she would constantly threaten to kill people, and very creatively as well. She wouldn't just
Very creatively.
She'd be like, "I'm going to shoot you in the head and throw you out of the helicopter into a volcano," or she'll be like, "I'm going to shove you in an alligator
Ma'am.
trap, and they're going to eat
It's
you
time to
brutally
chill.
alive." Like shit like this. And then she'll be like, I decree that treason is punishable by, you know, certain death in an alligator anus. Or, you know, I made that last part up, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I made that last part up.
me as a cult leader. Alligator anus is
Please.
fine. You gotta drain the swamp some way. She would threaten
Gotta
to
drain the
for
swamps.
most
Stop.
minor of infractions, such as someone scheduled an appointment for 5 p.m. instead of 4 p.m. And she would be like, "You don't get to mess with my timeline." Okay? Me.
Bruh.
As a Virgo. As you can imagine, sometimes some followers would leave after all of that.
What?
They were
No.
sick of the dog shit and the rotten food and the
They
yelling
left?
and the royal
But it's such a
puppies
good
and all
set.
that. So they leave. Well, when they leave, she gets so fucking mad. She goes online, she tells her thousands
Oh, looks
and
like there's
thousands
another
of
one that was
followers,
supposed to be here
that
but fell
this
off.
person was a traitor, an infiltrator, a deep state agent, part of the cabal. She would like have her followers go after this person, harass them online. So if you were a current follower that was there in the RV with her and you saw what happened if someone left, you would probably think twice before leaving, because you're like, oh my god, they're gonna come after me. So it's kind of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Damn, now
After a few of
Rasputin's
these
gonna be
people
stuck in my
left,
head.
She started to get really, really paranoid. Quote from a former member about her paranoia and the cameras and what she would have them do. So she says everyone has to say their whereabouts if they had to go off camera. Like if someone was going to the shed to get a shovel, they had to announce they're going to the shed, and then they're in the shed, then they're getting the shovel, then they're leaving the shed. Now they're on their way back to the trailer. Like it was step by step, like micromanaging, like on a level I've never seen before. If she said you have 15 minutes, you have 15 minutes. If you take 16 minutes, you're hearing about it. She's yelling at you. It says Didulo often forces her staff to make videos of support. In one recent filming, they all declared their love for her and swore they weren't being held hostage. Damn. This is all happening
Lol.
under the RV, and as I told you, it all started because she wanted to go to the Freedom Convoy. She has told her followers she's going to be there, so there are like 40 or 50 of her followers from the internet who are meeting her there, and she has them arranged with her like merch and stuff, like a procession for a queen.
Bro, what
And so
the hell?
she arrives at this convoy with these people awaiting her and the flags and stuff, and she gets on a megaphone and she introduces herself.
I am back by the armed forces of the United States. There are no more elections, no more politicians, no more politics in the Kingdom of Canada.
Now here's where she fucked up, because these truckers that were part of the Freedom Convoy, they consider themselves to be patriots, and patriots of
Don't
the
like
country,
Queen.
they don't really like it when you burn the flag of that country. And so she calls the Canadian flag a corporate flag. And her flag that she made, like a maple leaf with a sword that's purple and stuff, that's
so fucking funny, dude.
Which she is the queen of. That's the official flag.
Hey yo!
So she does her little speech, and then her followers burn the Canadian flag. And these truckers turn on her. And
yeah, you really can sell them anything. It's crazy.
Where some of her own followers, after seeing the flag being burnt, they're like, oh damn, I don't think I'm with this either, especially now all these people are against us. So
oh shit, that's not like.
She then turns on the truckers. She came there to support them. Now she's like against them. She's like, who do you think you are? I'm an alien. You're a trucker. Like I really. She went from supporting them to making all these videos talking about how awful they are.
I'm an alien. You're a trucker. Really?
With the honking from 8 o'clock in the morning
so funny.
until 1 a.m. every night and every day. And their city turned into a rave party site. When I burned the red and white flag, it symbolized the end of tyranny of the previous queen. She was not a real queen. She had no royal bloodlines. She was a simple individual German.
And then she had these issues with her RV that forced her to stay in a hotel. So her and her like 12 members, they had to stay in a hotel for about a week. And she was telling them, right, remember, her name is Romana Didulo, and she is deluded. Because she told them that Vladimir Putin is a very good friend of hers.
Okay.
She's actually been appointed, by the way, as a mediator by the United States and Russia to mediate the conflict in Ukraine.
Bro, be for real.
I have been requested by the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces to act as a mediator between Russia and the United States. I have requested that Queen Romana of the Kingdom of Canada be provided an aircraft, and with the call sign Queen Romana, for short QR1. In addition to that, I have requested.
I want this specific call sign. Oh, thank you, Vincent! Let's go!
14 or 13 staff accompany me to St. Petersburg, Russia, or wherever I must travel. So to the we the people of the Kingdom of Canada and the world.
I don't know if I'll set up tip notifications.
Prosperity mediator, always, Queen and Commander-in-Chief of Canada.
She's also friends with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBS. He donates to her a lot, she says, and she calls him her brother, and he watches her all the time.
What?
And Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea, he has her flags on all of his government buildings, the purple one, and even her picture framed in Pyongyang. She loves a dictator, she loves a prince, she loves a tyrant. She is a tyrant. These people all know her, and so when she's at the hotel for a week, she spends $300 a night booking an empty extra hotel room for Vladimir Putin, who was gonna come at any minute now. He didn't come.
He didn't come, what?
He didn't come. And then she had some other display where some dude came with a watch as a gift saying this is a watch that's been gifted to you by Vladimir Putin.
Girl.
We have a special presentation here of this gentleman. Marcus is presenting a gift from President Putin of Russia.
What?
This gift has been signed by President Putin. Thank you, President
Are you not
Putin of
embarrassed?
Russia. As I said before, Russia is a friend, not an enemy. Yes,
Romana, can you blame me? No, shut up. Shh. So now they're like, what are we gonna do? Okay, and this is when she does the busy work shit, because she doesn't know what she's gonna do. She doesn't have a goddamn plan for anything. All she's trying to do is get donations and donations, and she's on this never-ending freaking road trip with these people.
Oh, kitty time.
And all they do is solicit money from the people online. These like 12 people that are in these RVs.
Pups, go eat.
And she
So, go get your fucking food.
$100,000 RV, US dollars, 100,000 U.S. dollars. She actually
Munchie,
got
take her baby.
140,000 Canadian dollars in 2 months from donations. What are they doing? They're just driving around. So let me give you examples of some of the shit she had them do for no reason. First, she had them drive around in an RV in circles for 12 hours.
Okay.
Then she would have them take batteries that were fine out of stuff and replace them with new batteries when batteries were fine. Then she would say that the cars needed to be fixed, but there's nothing wrong with the car. So they're just like opening the hood and tinkering with the car. And there's nothing.
There's nothing.
About the loyalty money, the fake ass loyalty money she made, but she would have them count that fake ass money too. Just sit there, count paper that she printed that hasn't just literally counting papers.
Oh my god.
You guys, so you'll see that the team is continuing, or team members continuing work on the loyalty money, and of course you can see database there for the letters being sent out to our city coordinators.
And then she wouldn't let them sleep either. She would have them do that for 16 hours a day.
What the hell?
And people now are like, she just kept us so busy so that we wouldn't have time to stop and think about what the hell are we doing here. And some of these people
I mean, yeah.
And like
That's exactly what's
that they
happening.
left to do this. Imagine you're like away, your kids are like, where are you? Want me to come home? No, I'm sorry. I need to like put new
I
batteries.
need to count this paper.
Drive in circles and count paper. Mommy can't come home right now. So now it's August 2020.
Unhinged.
It's a few months since
Leave
the
the
Freedom
kitty
Convoy
alone.
thing happened, and she's got a grand idea, and that idea is she wants her people to arrest the police. She wants the citizens arrest on the police. Why? Because they're not really the police. Like they're not doing their job. Like
Bitch, be
all
for
these
real.
COVID things are happening, these restrictions and stuff, and like the police are not policing, so they're gonna police.
That up a little. It's okay.
You know? She tells her over 70,000 followers that she has right now at this point, what are you willing to do for your country and your kingdom? Are you going to arrest these police? Peterborough Police
How do you
Department in
arrest the
Ontario,
police exactly?
They show up her followers, and she's hiding in the RV. She does come
Of
out
course she is.
for a little bit to pass out refreshments and snacks, which are cucumbers, sardines,
What?
and opened water bottles. So she's giving them backwash water,
Ew.
sardines, and cucumbers to give them the energy to arrest the police. So there are
What?
clips of this.
Why, you think COVID's real? Yeah? Well, my boss found $1 million to start making COVID hand sanitizer bottles. And he knew he was getting it long before COVID.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, he wears red high heel shoes down the main street with the elite. You know what red high heel shoes mean? Pedophilia.
Well, we're gonna
What?
the rest of them on there.
Someone go get Dita Von Teese. Someone go arrest Kristen Louis Vuitton. I did it. Whew. Holy shit. Okay, I'm gonna add a few more on the pink and then that'll be it for the pink. Holy shit.
Vaccine save lives! Vaccine save lives! Vaccine save lives!
Bro.
Hail Satan!
Oh.
Don't fucking touch me! Yeah? You guys are fucked!
That's good spacing, I think. Oh. The screeching.
You guys are involved in the COVID crime and we're placing these all under arrest. No, we're not. You are.
Imagine being a cop and going to work and you have to deal with that all day. Ugh.
So basically what ended up happening is instead of them arresting the police, they got arrested. And instead of her bringing the military, which she said these alien military ships were gonna come and back them up, she just hid in her RV and then did a video where she claimed that the ships did come, but like, I don't know, they left.
They left.
The triangular craft, military craft showed up, and that's the
Oh my god.
right above the Peterborough police station.
It's we the people's fault again, like with the decrees, is that there should have been more people.
There should have been more people.
Support this small amount of people. Like you need to show them you're serious. We need more people. So they're sitting there and they're basically blaming themselves why this didn't happen, and she's just hiding. And then even making matters worse, because after these people got arrested 2 days after this incident, the police, they came out and they released a video.
Peterborough Police thanked the public for their patience during the incident at the Peterborough Police Station on
Are you being crazy dogs?
2022. The Peterborough Police will continue to investigate.
You're crazy dogs.
Identify the people involved in the protest.
Crazy.
On Saturday,
You're
and
crazy.
charges if warranted. If anyone knows the identity of people who may have been involved in either the incident with the counter-protester or the incidents with the officers, please call Peterborough Police Crime Line or Crime Stoppers.
The situation was serious. And so then she backtracked even more and she posted something being like, you know, for the record, gentle reminder, I was an observer, not a participant.
Okay.
So she
That's
straight up
convenient.
Then the mayor, in response to this incident, she did a tweet and delete, quote, fuck off, you fuckwars. Oh my god, what kind of mayor right now? Same month that this happened, another incident happened. We'll call it
That's
the
funny
Rogers
as fuck.
affair.
Hey, too loud. Too loud and too aggressive.
Roger
Chill.
Stone is a longtime political advisor of President Trump, and he's been involved for a long time. And he's quite the character. There's even like a documentary about him and stuff.
False. You are an asshole. You clearly are. I'm not going to discuss the criminal case. A lot of people something this will be over. He's going back. You little bitch.
One or two more blending out.
You're acting like one.
Some people that invited you to speak.
You guys are being crazy. Yeah, you're all being crazy. Can you guys chill?
I'll tell you what, we'll litigate it.
You guys need to chill.
There was this video that started circulating.
I know that you're on a mission to expose the deep state.
Do you guys hear Munchie right now?
Corruption in Canada.
Do you hear him?
Fidel.
He's crazy.
You know that many people
He's crazy kitten.
what you're doing
Scary kitten.
in liberty and all.
But that's a scary kitty.
It turns out that video
That's
was
scary
a
kitten.
cameo video. If you don't know cameo,
That's cameo?
it's this thing where you
Oh,
can
shit.
find public figures who are offering to say pretty much whatever
That's why you
want
don't
them
do
to say,
cameo, bro.
request a message, a short little video clip for a fee. And he is on Cameo. And someone, I guess, paid him
That's so funny.
do this, Romana clip, and he didn't know who she was or anything, so he just did it.
That's so
and then
funny.
they took it and they made it seem like this was real,
Oh my
and
god.
used that to do what? Solicit donations. And so she ended up
There
making
we go.
$6,500 off of this video by being
Nice.
like,
I still need to do
supporting me,
this.
donate, but he came out and said it was a scam.
Case in
not
point,
true.
need to do that
And so
section.
she was only able to make $6,500, but one thing about her, she's gonna ask for a donation. Let's talk about the loyalty money, because it was a few months after this that she announced her loyalty money for her most.
Alright, well that's gone. Whoever it was, it's gone.
Kind of slowly starting to lose followers.
So I still need to do that side. But other than that, everything else is fully glued on now.
Backtracking, didn't go over so well. And then the Roger Stone thing turned out to be a scam. So she's like, okay, whatever followers I have, I need to make them feel good. What can I do? What can I do? I know. I'm going to ask them for money, and I'm going to tell them that I'm going to use their real money to prank royalty.
Hello!
Which is fake money. It is what you could call, there's no currency, it's like a cheap looking paper, big, that says 100,000 on it, and there's no currency about it. They're Didulo dollars. They're Didulo. If you give someone 100,000 of this Didulo dollar, you're gonna owe them money. Okay? There are people that are literally paying her money so that she can piss on them and tell them it's raining. Like, that's the level of this shit. And some of her followers did actually say, wait a minute, you're asking for money to print fake money. You know, and then some of them are like, oh, okay, this is great. Now I can finally buy a boat that I've been wanting to buy with these $100,000 Didulo dollars. And then she even posted.
Why do
she
they
literally
think
said to her
that?
followers, thank you to those who sent money to help print your loyalty money.
No, that was
Continue to send money so
that was a little
we can
Munchie
continue to
screaming.
At a certain point, I'm like, you know, I don't even feel sorry for you. If you're giving her money to print money that is like just a regular ass paper, and you think that that's like, I don't know, man. Anyway, so whatever. You know, she has this weird ass ceremony where she, in order to like bestow these loyalty Didulo dollars on you, you have to swear this oath and sovereignty to her and all this crazy ass shit, and she like bestows the money on
So
you.
unhinged. The white hats are absolutely giving cult.
About 50 people, including children, filled the gym. And altogether, they declare an oath of sovereignty to their queen.
And then she's like, also, you know, right now they're not really accepted in a lot of these places, but soon.
Yeah, because like this side is the side that I did with E6000. Not going anywhere.
She gives them this money, loyalty money. She then plays a video of the Aladdin movie.
Like that is solid. So once this whole thing is glued, it's gonna be solid.
And it's to symbolize, it's to symbolize that they're free from the economic system.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, at this point, her reputation is going down, down, down. She's losing followers. When she had at her peak over 70,000, now she's got 50,000. She lost 20,000, and people are talking about it. So she is like, no, I'm gaining 1,000 followers a day. And then she posts a thing where she has over 500,000 followers, and people are like, he's photoshopped. And she's like, your mom was photoshopped. Shut up. Block, delete the comment. And so the thing is, even she posted that, people were able to go and look. How do they know?
Girl, they can obviously just go find out.
So anyway, this is when she decides, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. So she still has her loyal, 12 followers that are still with her in these RVs, and she is moving around, driving everywhere. Right? They're still doing that while she's doing all these ceremonies and stuff. And this is when she does something where she's gonna kind of fuck up and get kicked out. It starts when this hurricane hit in Canada called Hurricane Didulo, which she said.
No, guys, trust me. Like, you just can't perceive the amount of followers I have, so you're not getting an accurate number.
This island called Cape Breton in Nova Scotia, and she realized that hurricane is not fake. Like, they can see the homes and the devastation and everything. But then she notices there's this guy who's in front of this building that's all fucked up, and he's like, looks distraught, and she's like, got him. She jumps out of her RV with the camera, starts filming him.
Exactly, it's
and
the deep
is
state.
soliciting donations for him. Right? Now, neighbors and stuff, they
Give
say
you
that
back
he
the
was
baby
mentally ill and easily taken advantage of, and they did just that. They're using him to get these donations. Now, his name is a guy by the name of, Robert Nolan, and he did not take kindly to
The
this.
babies.
He also had a big ass truck, like a big, and so he brings his truck up to where they're filming this live stream, and he starts blowing on the horn, making it like so loud to where, they can't film. Then they go away to like continue filming, and then he takes the drone and he starts flying the drone. And then he starts, her name is Queen Didulo, right? He starts calling her Queen Dildo. He's telling everyone in town, like, Queen Dildo, fucking bitch, and what she's doing, she's exploiting us. So now, he gathers all these neighbors.
Not Queen Dildo, please.
He's telling her to get the hell out of this town, we don't want you here. Just every time she tries to film, they're honking and everything. Like, she's trying to act like she's welcome, and they're showing, like, no, you're not.
Yeah, this is the glue I'm using.
Packing up and leaving. By the time they kick out,
If you want shit to never come off,
donations for
this is the glue.
And she didn't give him any of that
land.
But honestly, you should
They
wear
want to
gloves
know the
and
meaning of a broken television. Robert
open a
Owen,
window.
I think, described very well what this woman is made of. He said,
Windows
I think
open,
she's a
don't have
parasite.
gloves.
I think maybe they might have scraped everything that was sticky, smelly, bad up off the floor and made her out of that. Queen Romana and her cult, they drive around and they find another place to stay. And this is a town 3 hours away called Tatamagush. Okay, Tatamagush. And this is where a reporter by the name of Mark Lamoureux, who has been covering her extensively, a lot of the articles that I talk about he's written, he ends up going to try to find her because she's never done an interview with media ever. And they reach out and everything, she refuses. So he wants to catch her and do an interview with her. So he
Catch
goes
her
to
like she's a Pokemon.
And finds her. He's like, oh my god. And I need to read exactly how he describes it in his own words because it is artistry. Okay? He says, quote, can we speak with the queen? I asked the one who was giving off clearly in charge energy. And there she was, my white whale and the scourge of Cape Breton, Romana Didulo, leaning so far over her dashboard, her face was almost touching the windshield, staring at us intensely and barking orders, which we could clearly hear emanating from the walkie-talkie her driver/security guard kept on his belt. Ignore them! Her voice crackles over the radio. Ignore them! Anything we said was either shouted over or ignored, so at least the knowledge that Didulo had seen us, we admitted defeat. For whatever reason, Didulo and her crew decided to hit the road that very evening to once more begin her never-ending tour of Canada. They broke down almost immediately. So now it's September 2023, and they are in another town. Now they're in Saskatchewan. It's a town called Kamsack. And they pull up with their RVs with her face and the flag and Queen Didulo all over it, Queen Romana, QR, and then the cars with the royal seal, and it's just like this big caravan. It's like a whole ass thing. It's hard not to notice. And her followers, they start telling the locals,
dude,
we're here to educate you, and we're gonna make some changes around here. And then Queen Romana tells the mayor, I'm in charge now. And the mayor says, the fuck you are, this is my town. And then from the nearby areas, the indigenous people pull up, and they're like, who the fuck are you? And she's like, I'm the new queen. And they're like, we ain't got no queen over here, and you damn sure aren't our chief. Get out. And so they band together, and all these people start literally running her out of the town. There's like video footage of them yelling out of the caravan.
Literally run her out. Bro. Oh my god. Go home! No, not camel toe time.
They end up having to get a police escort to get them out of this town. While this is happening, there is a follower online who's watching this who is about 7 hours away. And he
See, it's only 3 here.
7 hours away. And he tells them, come over to me, I have land, you can come, nobody's gonna bother you. Where is this? This is in a town called Richmond, Saskatchewan. It's a tiny town, population is about 100.
Saskatchewan?
So can you imagine when this huge caravan comes into this tiny town, the locals, everybody, it's hard not to notice what's going on. And this isn't just some people passing through. They see that they're
Yeah, it's
turning and
Saskatchewan.
going into an abandoned school, and they're parking in there. And as soon as they park and they get out, they're filming and following everyone because now they're on the defense because everywhere they go, they're being bullied and yelled at and told to leave. So now they pull up.
Not them getting bullied.
That are filming and telling people.
That's so
"Hey,
funny.
these small towns, folk and stuff, they're freaked out. They're like, what is this? Coming to find out, the guy who owns this abandoned school basically bought it after the school shut down and was going to turn it into a medical marijuana business, but he never actually did it. And then he
That's
fell behind
weird.
on his property taxes. Remember, Romana is telling them you don't have to pay taxes. So, and he's also against all the COVID restrictions
became a follower of hers. So he's like, listen, I've got this land, I don't want to pay my taxes, right? You are the queen.
God damn it.
Come set up shop here. And she was also now soliciting donations for him, saying
Yeah, that's
he
the
needs money
problem.
to pay his property taxes. And so her followers, whatever are left of them online, are going, I'm confused. You're telling us not to pay our taxes, and now you're trying to get us to give money to pay his taxes. We're paying our taxes, not paying our taxes, not because we don't have money, it's because you told us we don't have to. But now you're saying he needs to pay his taxes, which is it? So she's not making any sense. What happens now is that these people in the area, they are like, what the hell is this? They start hearing about her, looking her up, and realizing everywhere she
I'd
goes,
argue
she's
Canadians
getting
aren't
down.
polite, they're
So they try
passive
to do the same
aggressive.
thing. They all get in their trucks and their cars, and they go to the school, and they're honking their horns with their signs. They're telling her, get out, get out, get out.
Tractors, cars, trucks, circle the school where the group has been living.
But this time, she's not getting out. Why? Because she has some.
I believe our town.
They don't have to. Okay, it's not like before where they're just camping out wherever they go. They've got a spot. And so they refuse. And then this is when the shit starts escalating. There's another local who has beef, okay, with the town and the people in charge because there was some sort of thing that happened with the property that she had, and like part of it the city, part of it was her property, and the city was supposed to reimburse her for some type of repair, but they didn't reimburse her fully, only partially. She was upset about that. She started digging into their finances. She realized there was maybe some type of corruption going on with the money, small town politics, and her only town was like around 100, so she's trying to get people to vote.
Oh, fucking munchy hair in my eye.
There's such a tight-knit community that she's not getting the support she wants. She feels ostracized. So now that there's 12 new people who are in town, and these people that she has beef with, they don't like her. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So she has this extra property that she wants to put all 12 of Didulo and her cult members on the title, which will then allow them to vote, so that they could sway the vote. Because
There's a lot of Canadian Trumpers, it's
extra
weird.
12 people kind of matters. So now they own land there. They've got 2 compounds basically.
Yeah, it's a lot like the southern states in America where it's like people aren't being polite, they're being passive aggressive.
Royal decree. Like in this decree that Romana put, she said, okay, be well assured that failure to cease and desist immediately from your Rothschild CCP-based communistic, unfair, demoralizing, and immoral activities and behaviors while serving we the people and before the we the people under the present natural law will surely bring forth judgment upon yourselves, and if found guilty of crimes against humanity or treason, you will face publicly broadcast executions upon yourselves and undeserved devastation upon your children, grandchildren, and
Bitch,
families.
what?
Be forewarned and prepared. We the people now are watching you with open eyes. The curtain is drawn. Your future is in your
I love how she
hands.
abbreviates we the
And
people.
So they were pissed. The townspeople were like, oh, hell no. So they end up having this town hall meeting. Well, before that, there's this freaking assault that happens where a neighbor approaches the school and the owner of the property who invited Rolanda there, they get into a fight, and then that guy's charged with assault and arrested.
He was charged with assault last October, but he's now a esteemed member of the group referred to as His Excellency.
Questions for you, Your Excellency.
Man and a small group of Richmond residents are Didulo supporters.
And then they have the mayor's
What?
like, okay, we need to like figure this shit out. They have a town hall meeting, and it is heated, contentious. People are pissed. It's crazy.
You like the creeper fridge? Thank you. I got it from Target years ago.
Mans, who invited the fake queen to town.
Are there death threats? There's several out there. Lots of them. Probably 25 people, I think, on the list.
It is very traumatizing to receive that. Oh, that is not normal.
I've had to see my family, their mental health go down the frickin' drain. Our kids don't feel safe, I don't feel safe, and people are getting hurt here on both sides. No, I'm not. But if I can
People like you supporting idiot bears.
the leader of the pack, or sorry, His Excellency for brains.
So the police are basically like, yeah, she wrote that, but we can't really like say that she's gonna do anything or enforce this.
Bro.
They kind of don't do anything about it.
Oh my God.
Have the right to live and reside in that community, and there's nothing that the RCMP can do to prohibit that.
People are really pissed. They're like,
how?
They're threatening to kill us. Like, what's going on? And so then they're like, okay, we need to find something on them. So the townspeople start obsessively watching the live streams that they're filming inside this abandoned school, looking for something that they can like catch them and report them to police. And they end up finding a heater that was propped on top of like a propane tank, which was a fire code violation. So they end up calling and reporting it. So like the fire chief and the mayor and the building inspector and like the officers, like a bunch of people show up, but they won't let them in. They won't let them in, but then also they got spooked, so they fled. Where did they go? They end up going to a nearby farm that's owned by the previous mayor. Before the current mayor. This is some small
Bro, what?
And that previous mayor, the reason why he let them come over is because he felt like it wasn't cool to just kick them out and try to get them out because they're different or, you know, from like outsiders. Like, you know, he kind of wasn't as harsh against them. Like, let them be the cult they want to be. And so,
guys, they're just being a cult. It's fine.
The townspeople were mad at him
Sir.
or whatever. But they thought, okay, well, they're at this farm, fine. But then, a few months later, they come back. And they're back again at the school. They're back doing the live stream, and apparently they're still there. And she is no longer Queen of Canada.
And hair out of my eye.
She is
Finally.
the Queen of the world, and that's her story.
Stop.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Queen of the world.
Stop it.
Majesty and Your Highness. Bend the knee, bitch. No, I'm kidding. No, but that's the story.
Oh my God.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank
That
you
is
to
so
Brave
fucking
for
funny.
supporting my channel. Check them out. Click the link
What
in the
the hell?
description. I love their stuff. Super comfortable. And yeah, thank you so much
You guys
for
should definitely go
watching.
subscribe to her if you haven't already. Oh my God. Alright. Well, that, cool. That was way more unhinged than I was expecting. Oh my God. Yeah, thank you for recommending. That was a good one. I hadn't checked her channel for a hot second, so I saw a few on there that looked interesting to watch. Okay, so I'm gonna disappear for like an hour and a half, and then I will see you guys on Twitch. We're gonna play some Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Should be fun. It'll be chill. And then tomorrow we're doing another Fansly filming stream, so if you want to hang out with me for that, you can hang out. And yeah, otherwise I'll see you guys over on Twitch soon. Okay, if I don't see you on Twitch or tomorrow, then I will see you. The next YouTube stream is on the 24th. All right, next Thursday. So keep an eye open for that. All right, don't know what we'll be doing, but that'll be that. All right, okay, bye. And it'll also be later in the day, so okay, I will see you guys then. All right, enjoy the outro. Hopefully the music doesn't glitch out and it works, and that's not a problem. Okay, bye. See you soon.
Bye.